Chapter 1925. 2 hours passed in the blink of an eye. 4 hours are up. Seeing that it was time for a break, an elder immediately came out and woke up Mo Qingyun and the others who were meditating. Hearing the elder's words, Mo Qingyun and the others withdrew from their cultivation and looked nervously at the elder. The elixir recipes you have are different, and the time required to refine them is also different. The assessment time will be 20 hours. Looking at Mo Qingyun and the others below, the elder announced the assessment time and explained some details. After a while, when the elder finished explaining, Mo Qingyun and the others took out their alchemy cauldrons. Clang, clang, clang. One by one, the alchemy cauldrons are taken out and hit the ground in the square, making a crisp sound. When everyone took out their alchemy cauldrons, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and took out the 9 cranes homing cauldron. When Mo Qingyun took out his cauldron, Ling came to his side and said coldly, Mo Qingyun, a simple alchemy competition like this is boring. How about the two of us raise the stakes a little? Tell me, what do you want to bet with? Hearing Ling's words, Mo Qingyun looked at him with interest, wanting to see what good things he had to offer. If Ling took out the sacred blood, he might consider it. As for the other things, forget about it. I have a bottle of quasi-sane elixir here, the Supreme Purity Reincarnation Moral Elixir. I will use it to bet with you. Under Mo Qingyun's inquiry, Ling took out a white jade bottle and opened the cap. As the bottle cap was opened, a wave of medicinal power mixed with sacred aura escaped from the white jade bottle. A quasi-sane elixir. It seems that you have obtained a lot of good things in the blue jade medicine crystal palace. Looking at the elixir in Ling's hand, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and said to Ling, although the quasi-sane elixir is precious, I have no interest in it. Take out something else. As soon as she heard Mo Qingyun's words, Ling's face immediately sank, and she unconsciously gritted her teeth. Then Ling took out a green bottle, exuding a strong blood aura. What a strong blood aura! It seems to be stronger than the frost white tigers. Sensing the blood aura in the green bottle, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately became excited. From the current situation, even if the bottle in Ling's hand was not sacred blood, it was not far from it. Under Mo Qingyun's expectant gaze, Ling opened the bottle and said in a low voice, "This bottle contains Azure Dragon's sacred blood. I'll use a drop of Azure Dragon's sacred blood as a wager. Are you interested?" Hearing Ling's words, Mo Qingyun was overjoyed and a bright smile appeared on his face. As soon as Barb took out the green bottle, he knew that the blood inside was something special, but he didn't expect it to be Azure Dragon's sacred blood. Sacred. Sacred of the Azure Dragon. Ling is using it as a bet. That's too scary. Ling took out something so precious. Can Mo Qingyun take out something of the same value? Don't underestimate Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun's treasure is no less valuable than the sacred of the Azure Dragon. Seeing Ling's actions, the surrounding people were shocked and looked nervously at Mo Qingyun. I'm very interested in the sacred of the Azure Dragon. Under everyone's gaze, Mo Qingyun looked at Ling with a faint smile. Tell me, what do you want me to take out in exchange for this bet? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the purple chestnut horse's face turned cold. A hint of greed flashed in its eyes. I don't know what precious treasures you have. Take out the all-melting medicinal crystal furnace and bet with me. If you want me to use the all-melting medicine crystal furnace, I'm afraid 1 drop of sacred of the Azure Dragon isn't enough. Mo Qingyun didn't take Ling's words to heart and instead asked a question of his own. Although a drop of sacred of the Azure Dragon was precious, it was a consumable after all. Once used, it was gone. The all-melting medicine crystal furnace was different. It was a powerful sacred cauldron that could refine medicine crystals indefinitely. More importantly, it didn't need anyone to watch over it during the process of refining medicine crystals. To put it bluntly, it was a medicine crystal converter that could turn cultivation materials into medicine crystals indefinitely. If any faction got their hands on it, the sex cultivation crystal problem would be completely solved. Even many Saint Stage experts would covet such a treasure. Ziling, on the other hand, wanted to use a drop of Azure Dragon Sacred Blood to gamble with Mo Qingyun. He was dreaming. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Ziling's face turned ugly. She gritted her teeth and said, "I'll add 3 more drops of Sacred of the Azure Dragon and a bottle of Shangqing Reincarnation Morality Pills." Not enough. 4 drops. Still not enough. Next, Mo Qingyun and Ziling haggled, trying to balance the bet bit by bit. Mo Qingyun, don't push me too far. Seeing that she was taking out more and more treasures, Ziling's mood was getting worse and worse. She roared at Mo Qingyun and took out a blue map. "This is the map of the Xuanwu secret territory. I'll add it to the bet now. If you don't dare to bet, don't put on airs here." The map of the Xuanwu secret territory. Hearing Ziling's words, Mo Qingyun's eyes lit up as an idea popped up in his mind. "I haven't had any news about the Black Tortoise's blood all this time. If I successfully find the Black Tortoise's blood in the Black Tortoise realm, then the only thing left is the Qilint's blood. Okay, I'll bet with you." As Mo Qingyun thought of this, a faint smile appeared on his face. He raised his hand and took out the myriad medicinal crystal furnace. For him, although the myriad medicinal crystal furnace was precious, it was far less important than the nirvana elixir of creation. If Long Han Yin and the other girls fell, even if he had countless treasures, he wouldn't be happy at all. "Give me your myriad transformations medicine crystal furnace." Seeing that Mo Qingyun agreed to the bet, Ziling raised her head and ordered Mo Qingyun. Hearing Ziling's words, Mo Qingyun looked puzzled. "Young Master Ziling, the competition hasn't started yet, and you're already clamoring for me to give you the myriad medicinal crystal furnace. Aren't you a little too anxious? I'm afraid you don't know yet, but I received the inheritance of the Blue River Pill Saint in the Blue Jade Medicine Crystal Palace." Ziling ignored Mo Qingyun's mocking words and said with a proud expression, "I don't mind telling you, now that I'm a 7-star Celestial Alchemy Master, do you think you still have any chance of winning?" "What? Ziling is a 7-star Celestial Alchemy Master? I'm afraid Mo Qingyun is going to lose." Yes. In the past, the 7-star Celestial Alchemy Master was always the first. Ziling is so lucky to have received the inheritance of the Pill Saint. It's really enviable. Hearing Ziling's words, the crowd couldn't help but sigh. They thought that Mo Qingyun was going to lose. Chapter 1926. This is bad. Ziling is a 7-star Celestial Alchemist. Mr. Mo has fallen into her trap. After learning that Ziling was a 7-star Celestial Alchemy Master, Luo Batian immediately expressed his concern. In his opinion, Ziling's challenge to Mo Qingyun was clearly a trap, and she was waiting for Mo Qingyun to jump into it. Now that Mo Qingyun had accepted the challenge, it was obvious that he had fallen into Ziling's trap. Compared to Luo Batian's worry, Guyong was completely unaffected, and he wasn't worried at all. Although Ziling was a 7-star Celestial Alchemist, so was Mo Qingyun. It was hard to say who was stronger. Is a 7-star Celestial Alchemist that great? Mo Qingyun shrugged when he saw the smug look on Ziling's face. A faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth as he said, "I forgot to tell you that my Immortal Alchemy Master rank has also reached the 7-star level." Mo Qingyun's words caused an uproar. Everyone was shocked. What? Did I hear that right? Mo Qingyun is also a 7-star Celestial Alchemist? He's only 32 years old, but he's already a 7-star Celestial Alchemist. Is he the reincarnation of the Pill Saint? If he's not the reincarnation of the Pill Saint, even with the guidance of the Pill Demon Patriarch, he can't have advanced so quickly. Forget it. Let's not make wild guesses. Let's focus on the show. Mo Qingyun is also a 7-star Celestial Alchemist. This competition is getting more and more interesting. After learning about Mo Qingyun's Celestial Alchemist level, the audience's anticipation grew even stronger. The feeling of watching a battle without any suspense was completely different from watching an evenly matched battle. Only in a situation where both sides were evenly matched could one not guess the outcome, and only then could one's expression be tense at all times. 7. 7-star Celestial Alchemist. Mr. M.O. is a 7-star Celestial Alchemist. Robotion was stunned when he heard M.O. Qingyun's words. He could not believe what he had just heard. After a brief moment of shock, Robotion exhaled deeply to calm himself down. No wonder young master M.O. Qingyun can sense the 7-star Celestial Alchemist recipe. He's a 7-star Celestial Alchemist. He has kept us in the dark. This brat is always so mysterious, giving people a feeling that they can't see through him. Previously, I was at a disadvantage because I underestimated him. After hearing Luo Baishan's words, Luo Yin revealed an unconvinced expression and said a gloomy sentence. Luo Yin has underestimated Mo Luo. Is underestimating Mo's Luo. Luo, Luo, Luo. Luo, Luo. Is. He's Luo, Luo. Yin? I'm very pleased that you think this way. Hearing Luo Xian's words, Luo Batian nodded in satisfaction. Learn more from young Master Mo in the future. If you can do even half of what he did, I will be satisfied. I can do half of what he did. Seeing Luo Batian looking down on him so much, Luo Yin was a little displeased and his face darkened. Robotion did not say anything else after seeing Luo Yan's reaction. He did not want to provoke Luo Yan's hatred for Mo Qingyun. With Luo Yan's cunning nature, if he fought with Mo Qingyun, he would definitely be killed in an instant. Robotion pondered for a moment. He smiled faintly and changed the topic. I was thinking of suggesting Mr. Mo enter the Sacred Medicine Valley and snatch a 6-star Celestial Alchemist recipe. Then, he can refine a 6-star Celestial Alchemist recipe. It seems that I was wrong. Robotion mocked himself. His expression became complicated, and a trace of hesitation flashed across his eyes. With Mo Qingyun's talent, the consequences would be unimaginable if they became enemies. Was it really worth it to take such a huge risk just to avenge Luo Yin? At this moment, Robotion hesitated. He could not decide what to do. On the alchemy square. So what if you're a 7-star Celestial Alchemist? It doesn't change the fact that you're going to lose. Ziling was shocked to learn that Mo Qingyun was a 7-star Celestial Alchemist. Then, a look of disdain appeared on her face. He had a powerful trump card. With this trump card, he could definitely defeat Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun didn't pay attention to Ziling's words. He glanced at the bets on both sides and said, "Cut the crap. Let's find a notary to look after the bets for the two of us. If you two trust us, the Alchemist Temple can be the notary." Looking at Mo Qingyun and Ziling in the center of the alchemy square, an elder from the Alchemist Temple stood up and prepared to look after the bets for Mo Qingyun. Hearing the elder's words, Mo Qingyun looked indifferent and said, "I don't think there's a problem. What do you think?" With the pill devil here, he was not afraid of any mistakes if he handed over the all-melting medicinal crystal furnace to the Alchemist Temple. Under Mo Qingyun's inquiry, Ziling immediately frowned, and some concern appeared on her face. Seeing Ziling's expression, Mo Qingyun curled his lips in disdain and said, "If you're worried, I think we should forget about the competition. Anyway, I'm not very interested in the bets you took out." "Well, let the Alchemist Temple be the notary." Seeing Mo Qingyun about to give up, Ziling immediately panicked and agreed to the Alchemist Temple elder's suggestion. Then, Mo Qingyun and Ziling handed over their bets to the Alchemist Temple elder. After handing over the bets, Mo Qingyun and Ziling no longer wasted time and began to refine the elixir. The materials for refining the Genesis Fire Golden Pill were arranged in an orderly manner by Mo Qingyun, waiting for Mo Qingyun to throw them into the cauldron. When Mo Qingyun took out the materials, Ziling quickly made a hand sign and condensed a silver-blue flame in her hand. This flame condensed and exuded a holy aura, making the flames around him dim a little. That's the Holy Spirit ice flame. I didn't expect Ziling to control this flame. This Ziling is really lucky to be able to inherit such a flame. It's really hateful. We entered the Blue Jade Medicine Crystal Palace together. Why is it that all the good things are taken by Ziling? If I get the Holy Spirit Ice Flame, I will also have a chance to become an alchemy saint in the future. Seeing the flame in Ziling's hand, many people were envious and wished they could swap places with Ziling. This is troublesome. Ziling is using the Holy Spirit Ice Flame to refine the elixir. It's definitely not comparable to ordinary flames. Seeing the flame in Ziling's hand, Luo Baishan's face was immediately filled with worry. If Mr. Mo wants to beat Ziling, he'll have to have a powerful flame of his own, or he'll have to master some incredible alchemy technique to make up for the difference in flame. Chapter 1927. While Robotion looked worried, Guiyang remained calm and did not show the slightest anxiety. He knew very well how powerful Mo Qingyun's flame was. The Saint Soul Ice Flame could not compare to the power of that flame. As long as Mo Qingyun brought it out, it would definitely shock everyone and overshadow Ziling's flame. On the alchemy square, after taking out all the alchemy materials, Mo Qingyun did not waste any more time and began to ignite the fire of civilization in his body. Soon, a flame filled with the rhythm of life slowly gathered around Mo Qingyun's body. The fire of civilization gathered outside Mo Qingyun's body, creating a powerful pressure that suppressed the surrounding flames. Even Ziling's Saint Soul Ice Flame could not avoid this situation and was suppressed by the fire of civilization. How? How could this be? What kind of flame is this? Seeing the light of the Holy Spirit Ice Flame dim, Ziling was shocked, her eyes filled with fear. At this moment, he could not help but panic, worried that he would lose this competition. From the situation in front of him, as long as he was not a fool, he could see that Mo Qingyun's flame was stronger. As his trump card, the Saint Soul Ice Flame could not compare to Mo Qingyun's flame. This was a huge blow to him. That looks like the origin flame. While everyone was still in shock, one of them recognized Mo Qingyun's flame and exclaimed in shock, "What?" Following this person's words, the entire alchemy square immediately became noisy. The origin flame, is it the legendary fire of civilization? Isn't the fire of civilization controlled by the master of civilization? Is Mo Qingyun the reincarnation of the master of civilization? Legend has it that anyone who controls the fire of civilization has a chance to become the new master of civilization in the future. You mean Mo Qingyun has a chance to become the master of civilization? That's too scary. Recognizing Mo Qingyun's flame, everyone was shocked and their emotions were like stormy waves. It had to be said that this news was as shocking as thunder to them. The fire of civilization. Hearing the conversation around him, Robotion's eyes widened. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. He knew very well what the fire of civilization represented. In this case, Mo Qingyun was even more untouchable unless he wanted to perish together with Mo Qingyun. Luckily, I didn't do anything to Mo Qingyun when I was in Cloud Sky City. Otherwise, I would have been in big trouble. At this moment, Robotion rejoiced in his heart. He rejoiced that he had not attacked Mo Qingyun back then. Otherwise, he would be in big trouble, pushing himself into the endless abyss. While Robotion was rejoicing, he also made a decision. He thought to himself, from now on, I will never make an enemy out of Mr. Mo. I, Robotion, cannot afford to offend someone like him. In Robotion's opinion, he and Mo Qingyun did not have any grudges, so there was no need to let their relationship deteriorate. In addition, once the news of Mo Qingyun controlling the fire of civilization spread, it would definitely attract the attention of the immortals. At that time, Mo Qingyun would definitely be trained as the Lord of Civilization and become the most influential person in the immortals. In this way, anyone who dared to harm Mo Qingyun would become the enemy of the entire immortals. Compared to Robotion's feelings, Ziling's thoughts were the exact opposite. She wanted to kill Mo Qingyun even more. This kid actually controls the fire of civilization. He has a chance to become the lord of civilization in the future. He must not be allowed to live. At this moment, Ziling's desire to kill Mo Qingyun reached an unprecedented level. She thought to herself, with Mo Qingyun's growth potential, if I kill him, maybe I will be promoted to the first son of Saint. In Ziling's eyes, anything was more important than killing Mo Qingyun. This was because the impact on the dark demons was too great. With the potential Mo Qingyun had shown, if he could survive, he would definitely become a big problem for the dark demons. Although her desire to kill Mo Qingyun had skyrocketed, Ziling did not immediately make a move. She planned to wait until the alchemist trial was over. There were countless strong people here. With his strength, he could not kill Mo Qingyun in an instant. Besides, even if he killed Mo Qingyun now, he would not be able to leave here alive. If he died, then even if he killed Mo Qingyun, there would be no meaning to it. Although killing Mo Qingyun was very important to the dark demons, he did not want to sacrifice himself for it. After the alchemist trial is over, I will slowly deal with you. Ziling dared to think carefully. She suppressed the murderous intent in her heart and devoted her attention to alchemy. At this time, an old man in the audience looked at Mo Qingyun in surprise. This old man was none other than Mu Junting, who had been possessed. Mo Qingyun, you have really impressed me. I didn't expect you to control the fire of civilization. Looking at Mo Qingyun in the alchemy square, Mu Junting's face was full of jealousy and resentment. He said, even if you control the fire of civilization, it will not be long before you completely disappear from this world. In Mu Junting's view, with Gong Pingyang's terrifying means, it would not be difficult to kill Mo Qingyun. When he thought of Mo Qingyun being possessed and he could return to his original body, Mu Junting's smile deepened. He said, no matter how monstrous your talent is, if you can't grow, you can't be called a genius. You will only be slowly forgotten by everyone. Mu Junting muttered to himself. Then, he looked at Gong Pingyang with a complicated expression. Under Mu Junting's gaze, Gong Pingyang turned his head to look at Mo Qingyun. He sneered, I didn't expect this brat's talent to be so terrifying. If that's the case, I can't give up. If I replace him and get groomed by the major forces, I will have a 70% chance of becoming the new master of civilization. The more Gong Pingyang thought about it, the prouder he became. He looked at Mo Qingyun coldly and no longer concealed it. If it were not for the countless powerhouses here, he would not have been able to resist the urge to attack. While Gong Pingyang was lost in his thoughts, a one-eyed youth not far away also looked at Mo Qingyun with a sinister gaze. Kid, I let you escape from the hidden dragon Snow Mountain last time due to my carelessness, but you won't be able to escape from me. As it turned out, the one-eyed young man was Chun Yish from the hidden dragon Snow Mountain. He had never thought that he would have left the Saint Medicine Valley through possession as well. Chun Yish sized up Mo Qingyun and had the same thought as Gong Pingyang. He thought to himself, if I take over this kid's body, not only will I have a chance to become an alchemy saint in the future, I might even become the new master of civilization. Chun Yish was lost in thought for a while. Then he retracted his gaze and started to refine his pills. Chapter 1928. After refining the fire of civilization, Mo Qingyun waved his right hand and sent the fire of civilization into the 9 cranes homing cauldron. After sending the fire of civilization into the 9 cranes homing cauldron, Mo Qingyun did not stop and immediately made a series of hand seals. When the hand seals fell on the alchemy materials, these alchemy materials were like fish scrambling to fly into the 9 cranes homing cauldron. Following that, Mo Qingyun wholeheartedly refined the Genesis fire to Empyrean flame golden pill under everyone's gaze. As Mo Qingyun and Ziling began to refine the pills, everyone's attention was diverted and they all began to refine their own pills. Clang, clang, clang. At this time, the sound of metal colliding came from Ziling's cauldron. Then, everyone saw alchemy materials fly out of Ziling's cauldron. These alchemy materials flew out and were divided into two camps, madly attacking each other. From the looks of it, it was as if two armies were charging at each other, fighting and killing each other. Under the constant collision of the alchemy materials, their purity became higher and higher, and the medicine's spiritual power became purer and purer. This is the vanguard technique that has been lost for 9 million years. I can't believe Ling has learned it. The vanguard technique is the alchemy technique of the blue jade medicine crystal palace. Ling must have learned it because of his inheritance. This kid is really lucky. A fortuitous encounter in the blue jade medicine crystal palace has made him soar to the sky. It is said that the vanguard technique's alchemy is very strong and can increase the success rate of refining the tribulation pill. Recognizing Ling's alchemy technique, everyone immediately showed a look of envy and immediately began to whisper to each other. Seeing the shocked reaction of the people around her, Ling smiled proudly and threw a provocative look at Mo Qingyun. For Ling's move, Mo Qingyun directly chose to ignore it and quickly changed his technique. Roar! As soon as Mo Qingyun's technique was completed, a high-pitched dragon roar came from the 9 cranes homing cauldron. Then, the alchemy materials in the 9 cranes homing cauldron flew out one after another. When these alchemy materials flew out, they were shrouded by the shadows of dragons. They hovered above the alchemy cauldron like flood dragons. At this moment, dark clouds suddenly gathered above the 9 cranes' nesting cauldron. Streaks of lightning continuously descended and bombarded the alchemy ingredients. Every time it was struck by lightning, the purity of the materials would increase a little, and the grade of the immortal medicine would also change a little. The most important thing was that because they had been tempered by lightning, there was still some lightning energy left in the herbs. This is the rising dragon tribulation hand that has been lost for 10 million years. It's even more profound than the charging and breaking through enemy lines. The rising dragon tribulation hand has the same effect as the charging and breaking through enemy lines. They can both increase the success rate of the pill's tribulation. Not only that, the pills refined using the rising dragon tribulation transcendence hand also have the effect of tempering immortal spiritual energy and primordial spirit due to the remnant lightning energy in the ingredients. If that's the case, then wouldn't the pills refined by the rising dragon tribulation palm be better than the charging vanguard palm? In theory, that's the case. But alchemy can't only use one method, so the actual situation can't be determined. This Ling is really pitiful to have met a monster like Mo Qingyun. She's always been overshadowed by Mo Qingyun. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, the crowd couldn't help but sigh and feel some sympathy for Ling. If this had been the previous alchemy trials, Ling's performance would have been the undisputed #1 candidate. But now that she had met Mo Qingyun, her brilliance was completely overshadowed. She was really unlucky. Boom, boom, boom. While everyone was shocked by Mo Qingyun and Ling's performance, a huge wave of sound came from Gong Pingyang's alchemy cauldron. Then, a terrifying amount of immortal spiritual energy gathered above Gong Pingyang, forming a huge projection of a wave. When the wave projection was formed, one by one, the alchemy ingredients drilled into it, withstanding wave after wave of impact. Every time the waves hit, the purity and medicinal power of the alchemy ingredients would increase, as if they were cleansed of impurities. This is the tidal wave hand, a technique that has been lost for thousands of years. I didn't expect this young man to know it. It looks like this young man is not simple. His talent is no less than Mo Qingyun and Ling's. This alchemy trial is really a gathering of geniuses. One by one, the monsters showed off their skills, making people gasp in amazement. To be able to participate in this alchemy trial, even if I don't make it to the second round, I didn't come in vain. Seeing Gong Pingyang's method, everyone sighed in their hearts and said one sentence after another. Compared to Mo Qingyun and the others, their alchemy skills and talent were too far apart. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Just as everyone was lamenting, a cold storm swept past, making the sound of the wind rustling. Feeling the cold wind blowing, everyone's attention was immediately drawn to the source of the storm. They saw a one-eyed young man who was rapidly changing his hand techniques, controlling the frost to gather in the air. Soon, a raging iceberg appeared in the air above the one-eyed young man. Seeing the iceberg formed, the one-eyed young man waved his right hand, sending the alchemy ingredients into it. Then, the alchemy ingredients were frozen, turning into plant ice sculptures. As the alchemy ingredients turned into ice sculptures, their purity increased every time they emitted cold air. That's the iceberg storm hand. I've seen it in the Black Snow Alchemy sect before. It's actually the sect's signature technique. This young man knows the iceberg storm hand. He must be a direct disciple of the Black Snow Alchemy sect. His future achievements will be extraordinary. It's a pity that he's still inferior to Mo Qingyun and the others. Seeing Chun Yish's actions, everyone looked at him with pity, seeing the gap between them. While Mo Qingyun and the others were refining, the others were also using various techniques to purify their alchemy ingredients. Among these people, there was no lack of people with superb alchemy skills, but they were not as amazing as Mo Qingyun and the others. In the following time, everyone was refining in an orderly manner, and everything slowly returned to normal. As time continued to pass, more and more people began to gather at the pill refinement square. After a few hours of refining pills, those who were refining low-grade pills had all finished refining pills. Among these people, some succeeded, while others failed. However, the success or failure of these people did not attract the attention of the others. Everyone was focused on Mo Qingyun and the others. They all wanted to know who was better at alchemy among Mo Qingyun and the others. Chapter 1929. In the blink of an eye, 18 hours had passed. Only Mo Qingyun and a few others were left on the pill refinery square. Looking at Mo Qingyun and the others on the pill refinery square, everyone tensed up. The most crucial moment had finally arrived. At this moment, an image suddenly appeared above Gong Pingyang. An image of the pill appeared. Gong Pingyang had successfully refined the pill. Seeing such a situation, everyone was shocked. Their eyes gathered on Gong Pingyang. Under everyone's gaze, Gong Pingyang quickly formed a hand seal and absorbed the image of the pill into the pill. Absorb! After absorbing the image of the pill, Gong Pingyang raised his hand and took the pill into his hand. Looking at the pill he had refined, Gong Pingyang revealed a satisfied smile. He turned around and walked towards the judging platform. Please examine the pill. Coming to the front of the judging platform, Gong Pingyang handed the pill he had refined to the judges. Taking the pill from Gong Pingyang's hand, the judges immediately examined it and whispered to each other. After a serious discussion among the elders on the judging platform, one of them stood up and said, 7-star immortal pill, Sun Howling Moon Shadow Water Star immortal pill, high grade. It's actually a 7-star immortal pill. Mu Junting's alchemy skills are amazing. Yes, not only is the quality of the pill refined high, but the time taken to refine it is also the shortest. I wonder what the quality of the pill refined by Mo Qingyun and the others will be like. After knowing the grade of Gong Pingyang's pill, everyone sighed inwardly. They were even more curious about the pill refined by Mo Qingyun and the others. While everyone was discussing, the elder of the alchemist temple returned the pill to Gong Pingyang and said, "Go wait at the side. When they're done refining, we'll announce the final ranking." Okay. Taking the pill from the elder, Gong Pingyang nodded in response and walked to the side of the pill refinery square. When Gong Pingyang left the pill refinery square, another person had successfully refined the pill and passed it to the judges to examine. Unfortunately, although the pill he refined was also a 7-star celestial pill, its grade was far inferior to Gong Pingyang's. As time continued to pass, a few more people finished refining their pills and brought their pills to the judges for inspection. However, the result was the same. The grade of the medicinal pellets they concocted were all far inferior to Gong Pingyang's. At this time, only Mo Qingyun, Ling, and Chun Yish were still refining pills. While everyone was looking at Mo Qingyun and the other two, the scene above Chen Yish suddenly changed. Seeing this scene, everyone's heart immediately moved. Chen Yish's pill was about to be refined successfully. Following that, Chen Yish successfully refined the pill under everyone's gaze. After Chen Yish finished refining the pills, he took them to the judging platform. On the way, he passed by Mo Qingyun. When he passed by Mo Qingyun, Chen Yish's footsteps paused. He looked at Mo Qingyun with a cold smile and said, "Kid, I let you escape from the hidden dragon Snow Mountain last time. This time, don't even think about escaping from me." After Chen Yish finished speaking, he took his pill and walked to the front of the judging platform. Hidden Dragon, Snow Mountain. Looking at Chen Yish in front of the judging platform, Mo Qingyun's expression was shocked. He immediately knew Chen Yish's identity. The one-eyed youth in front of him was actually the old man from the Hidden Dragon Snow Mountain. He didn't expect him to come out through possession. Although he was a little surprised by Chen Yish's actions, Mo Qingyun didn't mind and didn't take him to heart. This guy's cultivation was only at the 8th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. It wasn't too difficult to deal with him. In terms of strength, putting aside Gong Pingyang and the others, even the old man in the Shadow Desert Tomb was much stronger than Chen Yish. If Mo Qingyun attacked with his full strength, even if he couldn't kill Chen Yish, it wouldn't be difficult to force him to retreat. 7-star Immortal Pill. Perfect Grade Supreme Cauldron Immortal Pill. While Mo Qingyun was thinking in his heart, Chen Yish's test results came out. It was actually a higher grade pill than Gong Pingyang's. Mo Qingyun was a little surprised by the test results. He didn't expect Chen Yish to have some ability. After glancing at Chen Yish, Mo Qingyun withdrew his attention and started the last step of the pill refinement. After Chen Yish's pill refinement was finished, only Mo Qingyun and Ziling were left in the pill refinement square. Looking at Mo Qingyun and Ziling on the pill refinement square, everyone couldn't help but have the illusion that the pill refinement test was set up for Mo Qingyun and Ziling. Seeing that the time left was getting shorter and shorter, everyone's expression tensed up. They couldn't help but feel anxious for Mo Qingyun and Ziling. There's only an hour left. Can they successfully refine their pills in the allotted time? It's hard to say. They've just become 7-star immortal alchemists, so it's normal for their pill refinement speed to be slow. I'm thinking that if they both fail to refine their pills, won't it be a draw? If that's the case, then it'll be really interesting. Looking at the deadlock between Mo Qingyun and Ziling, everyone was discussing among themselves. They were looking forward to the results of the competition. Moreover, some people thought that Mo Qingyun and Ziling's alchemy skills were not enough to refine a 7-star immortal pill. Boom, boom, boom. As everyone was discussing, a large number of dark clouds suddenly gathered in the sky above the pill refinement square. Seeing such a scene, everyone was shocked and looked at each other. The sudden appearance of this situation was truly unexpected. What's going on? Is someone going to undergo a tribulation? Are you stupid? This is obviously a pill tribulation. Someone is going to refine a tribulation grade pill. Refining a tribulation grade pill? And now there's Mo Qingyun and Ziling. Are they going to refine a tribulation grade pill? Look, Ziling is going to refine a tribulation grade pill. No wonder he used the charging hand before. Looking at the scene in the pill refinement square, everyone was shocked and focused their attention on Ziling. Under everyone's watchful eyes, Ziling quickly made a hand seal and opened the lid of the pill cauldron. Then, a pill flew out of the cauldron and slowly floated into the air. It seemed that she was going to let the pill pass the tribulation and refine a cauldron of tribulation-grade pills. This young man named Ziling has amazing talent in alchemy. No wonder he's inherited the Pill Saint's legacy. Seeing Ziling's actions, an elder from the Temple of Alchemists expressed his approval. If Ziling successfully refines a tribulation-grade pill, I'm afraid this competition will be over. There's no need to continue. Hearing this elder's words, the other elders beside him nodded their heads in agreement. Chapter 1930. That's true. If Ziling were to refine a tribulation-grade pill, it would have a great impact on Mo Qingyun's state of mind. Once Mo Qingyun's state of mind is out of balance, it will be difficult for him to even refine a tribulation-grade pill, let alone refine one. Now that time is running out. I think Mo Qingyun's progress is on the verge of failure. If Mo Qingyun were to fail and Ziling were to refine a tribulation-grade pill, the ending would be a bit ironic. Looking at Ziling's performance, everyone was even more convinced that Mo Qingyun's victory was impossible. Because from the current situation, Mo Qingyun had no chance of winning. It was just a matter of whether he would lose miserably or not. Everyone thought so in their hearts, and the look of anticipation on their faces faded little by little. Under everyone's gaze, Ziling quickly pinched a handprint and gently tapped on the pill. The handprint sank into the pill, and the surface of the pill refined by Ziling immediately bloomed with dazzling light. This is the ice crystal holy light hand, which can increase the probability of a pill's tribulation. I didn't expect Ziling to have mastered this technique. Ziling has already used the charging hand, and now, with the ice crystal holy light hand, the success rate can be increased by at least 30%. A 30% increase in success rate. This is too scary. Ziling's tribulation-grade pill is most likely a success. I didn't expect this result. I thought the final winner would be Mo Qingyun. Seeing Ziling's reaction, the disappointment on everyone's faces became even stronger. Who would have thought that such an exciting battle would end in such a way? Boom! Under everyone's gaze, a bolt of lightning descended from the sky and blasted the pill that Ziling had refined. Soon, the pill was swallowed up by the lightning and disappeared from everyone's sight. Seeing this scene in front of them, everyone's expressions immediately tensed up, and even their breaths were unconsciously held. In their view, the result of the gambling fight between Ziling and Mo Qingyun would be decided at this critical moment. Under everyone's nervous gazes, the lightning slowly dissipated, revealing the pill inside. After a short while, when the lightning dissipated, the elixir refined by Ziling appeared in everyone's sight. At this moment, the glow of this pill looked extremely dim, as if it was a useless pill. Did you fail? From the appearance of that pill, it doesn't look like it was successfully refined. If Ziling's refinement fails, Mo Qingyun will be invincible. As long as Mo Qingyun can concoct the pill, no matter what grade it is, he can win. Could it be that Mo Qingyun hasn't finished his alchemy because he's waiting for Ziling to fail? Mo Qingyun's thoughts are too deep. He actually thought of this. As soon as they saw that Barb's situation wasn't right, everyone immediately changed their view of Mo Qingyun. When everyone agreed that Ziling had failed to refine the pill, she raised her hand and put the pill away. Looking at the pill formula in her hand, Ziling frowned slightly, and her expression showed some dissatisfaction. Ziling pondered for a moment. Then a faint smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. She turned to look at Mo Qingyun and said, "Although the refining is not perfect, a low-grade 5 elements heaven accumulation elixir is more than enough to beat you." As soon as Ziling's words fell, she ignored Mo Qingyun and turned to the judge's table. When Ziling came to the front of the judge's table, she handed the pill over, showing a proud attitude. Seeing Ziling's attitude, the elders of the alchemist temple all frowned slightly. Although this guy was very talented, his heart was too proud. If he didn't change, his future would be limited. 7-star elixir, a low-grade 5 elements heaven accumulation elixir. After checking the pills that Ziling had refined, the judging elders of the alchemist temple immediately announced her results. Hearing the elders of the alchemist temple, Ziling's face immediately became a little more smug. She said, "Boy, why don't you hurry up and admit defeat? What's the point of blindly stalling for time?" Mo Qingyun seemed to turn a deaf ear to Ziling's urging words, as if he was not affected at all. Seeing Mo Qingyun's behavior, Ziling's face immediately turned ugly, and a strong flash of displeasure flashed in her eyes. "We seem to have underestimated Mo Qingyun. This little guy's state of mind is much better than we thought. I didn't expect that under such circumstances he could still immerse himself in alchemy without being affected in the slightest. He's really not simple. No wonder he was chosen by the alchemy demon ancestor. He really is extraordinary. His state of mind alone is not comparable to ordinary people. Indeed, in contrast, Ziling's state of mind is far too inferior. Seeing Mo Qingyun's indifferent performance, the elders of the Alchemist Temple immediately praised Mo Qingyun. At the same time, the elders of the Alchemist Temple also had a good impression of Mo Qingyun. Immediately, one of the elders came out and looked coldly at Ziling. He shouted, "Mo Qingyun's alchemy is not over yet. If you speak to disturb him again, we will invalidate your assessment results." You! As soon as she heard the elder's words, Ziling immediately showed anger and glared at the elder, unable to speak. In her view, the elder's actions were clearly biased towards Mo Qingyun. Although Ziling was very angry, she did not say anything and suppressed the anger in her heart. Immediately, Ziling looked at Mo Qingyun and shouted angrily, "I want to see how long you can delay it. There's only a quarter of an hour left. Once the time is over, let's see who can protect you." While Ziling was angry in her heart, Mo Qingyun turned to look at her and smiled faintly. "It's just for finding a tribulation grade pill, and the lowest grade at that. Is that worth your pride?" As soon as she heard Mo Qingyun's words, Ziling's anger could not be suppressed. She immediately stood up and shouted angrily, "If you have the ability, you can also refine one for me to see. Then open your eyes wide and watch." Hearing Ziling's words, Mo Qingyun made a hand seal and blasted it directly into the sky. As the hand seal blasted into the sky suddenly became dark, giving an extremely oppressive feeling. Seeing such a scene, the people around them all stood up and stared in shock. Mo Qingyun is going to refine a tribulation grade pill? It's so exciting. I didn't expect there to be such a wonderful scene in the end. This gambling fight is really full of twists and turns. I don't know if Mo Qingyun will succeed. In a short moment, everyone's emotions were stirred up and they looked nervously at Mo Qingyun. Chapter 1931. Boom, boom, boom. More and more dark clouds gathered in the sky, and the pressure they exuded became more and more terrifying. Lightning bolts flashed between the clouds as if they were going to split the heavens and the earth. What a terrifying pressure. What kind of tribulation is this? It's so terrifying. Can Mo Qingyun's pills really withstand such terrifying tribulation lightning? I don't think so, but Mo Qingyun can't be judged by common sense. He's not normal at all. Yes, he's not normal. How can a normal person become a 7-star celestial alchemist in 32 years? In just a short while, Mo Qingyun was labeled as abnormal in everyone's eyes. Reverend Guyang, do you think Mr. Mo can succeed? Looking at the terrifying dark clouds in the sky, Luo Batian couldn't help but ask Guyang for his opinion. Robatian felt that Guyang was Mo Qingyun's martial uncle, so he should be very familiar with Mo Qingyun's alchemy skills. I can't say for sure, but theoretically speaking, there should be no problem. Guyang shook his head when he heard Robatian's question. His expression became tense as he said, "Although Qingyun refined a tribulation grade 7-star celestial pill when he became a 7-star celestial alchemist, I can't guarantee that he'll succeed every time." What? Mr. Mo refined a tribulation grade 7-star celestial alchemist when he became a 7-star celestial alchemist? Robatian's eyes widened when he heard Guyang's words. He could not believe what he had just heard. Under normal circumstances, celestial alchemists would be very careful when they took the advancement test. Mo Qingyun, on the other hand, refined a tribulation grade celestial alchemist without thinking about the consequences of failure. The difference between him and other celestial alchemists was like the difference between heaven and earth. Mr. Mo is too low-key. He has such powerful alchemy skills, but he doesn't show it at all. In Roba Heaven's view, if it were anyone else, with Mo Qingyun's terrifying talent, they would have long since become arrogant and conceited. After learning about Mo Qingyun from Guyang, Roba felt even more admiration for Mo Qingyan. Afterwards, Robotion looked at Luo Yin, and his expression gradually became serious. He said, Yin, you need to learn from Mr. Mo. Always remember that there will always be someone better than you. Only by doing this will you be able to go further in the future. Hearing Robotion's words, Luo Yin snorted coldly, clearly not accepting Robotion's words. Seeing Luo Xian's reaction, Luo Bation sighed as disappointment surfaced on his face. However, Robotion didn't say much. He turned to Mo Qingyan again to watch Mo Qingyan refine the celestial alchemist pill. Boom! Under everyone's gaze, a bolt of lightning as thick as an arm descended from the dark clouds. The lightning struck the elemental fire golden core and swallowed it whole, disappearing from everyone's sight. Seeing this, everyone held their breaths, not daring to make the slightest sound. They were afraid that if they made any noise, it would affect Mo Qingyan's alchemy. At this moment, it was as if time had stopped. Everyone was like a statue, standing motionless in place. Time passed slowly. After a short while, the lightning completely dissipated, revealing the Genesis Fire de Imperial Flame Golden Core. At this moment, the Genesis Fire Golden Pill was translucent and full of spiritual power. The pill veins were clear, indicating that it was an extremely high-quality pill. No, impossible. There's no way he could have succeeded. Seeing the golden core of the Genesis Fire, Barb's expression immediately became agitated, and she began to speak words of horror. He couldn't believe that Mo Qingyan had really refined a tribulation-grade pill, and one that was of a much higher grade than his. If this was the case, wouldn't he lose everything he'd put up for the bet to Mo Qingyan? That was all he had, and now it was all gone. He couldn't accept it. Seeing Ziling's reaction, everyone's faces were filled with disdain, and a strong sense of disdain grew within them. Weren't you very smug just now? Tribulation-grade pills aren't your specialty. Do you really think you're the only one who can refine them, and no one else can? Just as everyone was thinking this, their expressions relaxed. They felt that the battle should be over. Boom! Suddenly, another bolt of tribulation lightning came crashing down from the sky. Very soon, this imposing tribulation lightning swallowed up the primordial fire, the Empyrean Flame Golden Core. Seeing this scene, everyone was dumbfounded and rubbed their eyes frantically. Mo Qingyan had already won, so how could he still let the pill undergo tribulation? That was too crazy. Is Mo Qingyan crazy? Isn't he afraid of failing the tribulation? Yeah, if he fails the tribulation, he'll fail the pill refinement. This guy is indeed abnormal. Everything he does is not something a normal person would do. Don't even think about it. If you can understand it, then you're just as abnormal as Mo Qingyan. That makes sense. This guy really isn't normal. The crowd's mood, which had calmed down, became tense again. Soon, the entire pill refinement square fell silent again. Could Mo Qingyan really succeed? Under everyone's gaze, the tribulation lightning dissipated bit by bit to reveal the Genesis Fire Golden Pill. As soon as the Genesis Fire Golden Pill appeared, a thick wave of immortal spiritual force emanated from the pill. Seeing this, the crowd grew excited. They knew that Mo Qingyan had succeeded again. A 2-tribulation, 7-star pill. There was no doubt about the outcome this time. He did it. Luo Bation immediately rejoiced when he saw Mo Qingyan's result. He unconsciously clenched his fists and said excitedly, Master Mo's talent in alchemy is just too terrifying. It's completely shattered my understanding. If he continues cultivating, he'll definitely become a pill saint in the future. If Mr. Mo becomes a pill saint, maybe he can help me refine the nirvana pill of creation. At this moment, Luo Bation couldn't help but hope that Mo Qingyan would be able to help him one day. While Luo Bation was thinking about this, Luo Yan's face darkened and the jealousy in his heart intensified. Humph. So what if he's a 7-star pill master? In this world, the most important thing is the level of cultivation. One day, I'll avenge myself. It turned out that Luo Yan still remembered the humiliation that day. She didn't plan to forget about Mo Qingyun. Under everyone's shocked gazes, Mo Qingyun waved his hand and took the Genesis Fire Golden Pill into his hand. In his opinion, a 2 tribulation pill was enough. There was no need to refine a 3 tribulation pill. After all, he wasn't very confident in refining a 3 tribulation 7-star pill. Chapter 1932. Taking the pill, Mo Qingyun walked towards the judge's table. Arriving in front of the judges, Mo Qingyun handed over the medicinal pills and said with a humble expression, "These are the medicinal pills that I refined. Seniors, please give me some pointers." Good. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, the elders of the Temple of Alchemists all nodded approvingly. Compared to Ziling, Mo Qingyun's words and actions were too different. They could almost imagine that if Ziling had refined a 2nd tribulation pill, he would be even more insufferably arrogant. Taking the pill from Mo Qingyun's hands, the elders' expressions became serious as they carefully examined the pill refined by Mo Qingyun. As the elders observed, they all nodded continuously, showing their approval of Mo Qingyun. 7-star Immortal Pill, a perfect 2nd tribulation Genesis Fire Gold Pill. After a while, the elders put down the pill, and one of them announced the results with a serious expression. As soon as the elders' words came out, the surrounding crowd was shocked. They couldn't believe the result. Perfect. The grade of the pills that Mo Qingyun refined had actually reached the level of perfection. Did I hear it wrong? Mo Qingyun's pill is of perfect quality? As a 7-star immortal alchemist, he can refine a perfect 7-star immortal pill. This ability is terrifying. I've studied alchemy for millions of years, and this is the first time I've seen such a monster. Hearing the grade of Mo Qingyun's medicinal pill, everyone was shocked, and they couldn't help but exclaim in surprise. While everyone was still in shock, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He turned to look at Ziling and said, "The result of our competition must be very clear. If that's the case, I won't be polite with you. I'll take all these things." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he no longer hesitated and took all the bets. Mo Qingyun, seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Ziling's face immediately darkened. She was so angry that her whole body trembled. Although she knew she had lost, seeing Mo Qingyun take her things still made her extremely angry. Mo Qingyun didn't care about Ziling's anger at all. His expression showed some disdain as he said, "Also, let me tell you one more thing. In my eyes, you are not worthy of being my opponent. I only want to surpass myself." Well said. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, an elder of the Temple of Alchemists immediately stood up and praised Mo Qingyun. After that, his gaze towards Mo Qingyun was filled with some admiration as he said, "Little fellow, thank you for teaching us a lesson. It's precisely because we don't dare to challenge ourselves and try to surpass ourselves that we've always been stagnant and unable to advance further." Hearing this elder's words, the surrounding immortal alchemy masters all fell silent. If they didn't even have the courage to surpass their limits, how could they reach higher limits? When they were refining pills, they had the mentality of completing the task and rarely took the risk to surpass themselves. It was because of this mentality that their alchemy level was always stuck at a bottleneck, unable to surpass. "Elder, you are too serious. I just don't want to have any regrets." Hearing the alchemist temple elder's praise, Mo Qingyun modestly shook his head and expressed his thoughts. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, the elders of the Temple of Alchemists once again looked at Mo Qingyun with new eyes. From these details, it could be seen that whether it was character or character, Mo Qingyun was thousands of miles away from Ziling. Since the refining is over, I will now announce your rankings. Everyone, come to the square immediately. After a few words with Mo Qingyun, the elder of the Temple of Alchemists glanced at the crowd and called everyone back to the square. Hearing the elder's words, the participants of the second round of the competition immediately rushed to the square. After a while, everyone gathered in the square, waiting for the elder of the Temple of Alchemists to announce the rankings. First place, Mo Qingyun from the Cloud Sky City. Second place, Zi Ling from the Serene Sky Mountain. Third place, Fan Qibing from the Dark Blood Medicine Palace. Fourth place, Mu Junting from the Medicine Immortal Hall. Soon, the rankings were read out one by the elder of the Temple of Alchemists. Hearing the elder of the Temple of Alchemists call out his name, Mo Qingyun left the crowd and walked to the designated position. Boy, you won't be proud for long. I will remember this. Standing next to Mo Qingyun, Zi Ling showed a gloomy look and exuded a chill from her body. Seeing Zi Ling's performance, Mo Qingyun narrowed his eyes slightly and raised his guard against her. He felt a strong murderous intent from Zi Ling's body and was careful to guard against her. In case Zi Ling suddenly attacked him, he could be prepared in advance. It was not like he had never encountered this kind of thing before. It was never a bad thing to be careful. Oof. Seeing Mo Qingyun ignore her, Zi Ling's face darkened, and she snorted coldly and did not speak again. As soon as Zi Ling's snort fell, his expression trembled, and his eyes unconsciously looked at the sky. Just a moment ago, a voice penetrated the sky and appeared in his divine sense. Divine Ancestor. Recalling the voice just now, Zi Ling could not help but widen her eyes and turn to look at the surrounding audience. Sensing Zi Ling's gaze, the elder who came with her immediately showed a cold smile and nodded to Zi Ling. It turns out that Elder Su has conveyed Mo Qingyun's message to the divine ancestor in the clan. Seeing Elder Su's nod, a sneer appeared on Zi Ling's face, and she looked at Mo Qingyun with murderous eyes. From Elder Su's voice, he learned that the dark demons had sent a large number of powerhouses to eliminate Mo Qingyun. If even Zi Ling could see that Mo Qingyun would be a big problem for the dark demons, how could those powerhouses not see it? Knowing the deployment of the powerhouses in the clan, the sneer on Zi Ling's face deepened, and she looked at Mo Qingyun with a bit of mockery. In her view, the dark demons had sent more than a dozen saint powerhouses, and Mo Qingyun could not escape today. Time passed little by little. Under the call of the elder of the Alchemist Temple, the rankings of those waiting for the Alchemist trial were read out one by one. After about a quarter of an hour, the elder of the Alchemist Temple stopped reading and glanced at the crowd, saying, "The people I just called out are the top 100 of this year's Alchemist trial. As for the ranking after that, it will be engraved on the trial list of the Alchemist Temple. You can go and see it when the time comes." Hearing the words of the elder of the Alchemist Temple, the crowd's expression immediately became excited, and they unconsciously clenched their fists. Although they did not enter the top 100 and receive the reward of the Alchemist Temple, they could engrave their names on the trial list. Chapter 1933. All right, those whose names haven't been called may leave the plaza now. The Pill Master Temple's elder instructed everyone, before turning his gaze towards Mo Qingyun's group. Those ranked 100 to 11, gather here immediately. I will now give you your rewards. Hearing the elder's instructions, no one dared to hesitate in the slightest, and immediately gathered at the designated location. Not long after, those ranked 100 to 11 all received their rewards from the Pill Master Temple. After handing out the rewards, the Pill Master Temple's elder immediately looked towards Mo Qingyun's group. I will now give out the reward for the 1st to 10th places. The 10 of you, come to this old man's side. Hearing the elder's instructions, Mo Qingyun's group no longer hesitated and immediately walked to the elder's side. Looking at Mo Qingyun's group, the elders exchanged glances and handed out the rewards to Mo Qingyun's group. In next to no time, an elder arrived before Mo Qingyun and withdrew a crimson-red jade bottle. He said, "This jade bottle contains the reward for the 1st place in the Alchemy Master Trials. There's a total of 10 drops of the sacred beast Fire Cheelant's blood within it." 10 drops of Fire Cheelant's blood. Hearing the elder's words, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately shook and became excited. With these 10 drops of Fire Cheelant's blood, he only needed to find Xuanwu's blood, and he would have gathered all 9 sacred blood. Now that he had a map of the Xuanwu's secret territory, he had a direction for Xuanwu's blood. He only needed to go to the Xuanwu's secret territory to explore. Thinking of this, Mo Qingyun immediately became excited. He didn't expect to be able to gather all 9 sacred blood so quickly. Many thanks, Elder. Calming his excited mood, Mo Qingyun received the jade bottle containing the fire Qilin's blood from the Elder's hand. Mo Qingyun, go to hell. When Mo Qingyun raised his hand to receive the jade bottle, a shocking wave of immortal spiritual energy suddenly exploded beside him. Mo Qingyun immediately sensed the immortal spiritual energy fluctuation. He quickly dodged to the side and said disdainfully, Ziling, you really can't help but make a move. I've been guarding against you for a long time. At this moment, Mo Qingyun could not help but feel a little lucky. Fortunately, he had already been on guard against Ziling otherwise. In the face of Ziling's sudden attack, he was afraid that he would have been seriously injured in an instant. Even if you manage to avoid my sneak attack, you will still die today. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had avoided her sneak attack, Ziling's face immediately turned cold. She gritted her teeth and snarled. As Ziluo's words fell, he no longer hesitated and once again charged towards Mo Qingyun. You actually dare to make a move here? Are you not afraid of the punishment from the Alchemist Temple? Seeing that Ziling had attacked him again, Mo Qingyun's face immediately sank, and he scolded Ziling. He did not expect Ziling to be so bold. Her actions had already been exposed, but she still dared to continue to attack him. Based on his understanding of Ziling, although she was arrogant and insidious, she was not so brainless. Today, even if the Alchemist Temple intervenes, they still can't save your life. Ziling did not take Mo Qingyun's questioning words to heart. She showed some disdain for the Alchemist Temple and said, Mo Qingyun, accept your death obediently. Today, even if the Alchemist Ancestor comes here, he will still save your life. 9 Thunder Dragon Sting. As soon as Ziling's words fell, he waved his short sword and slashed it towards Mo Qingyun. Under Ziling's wave, the short sword immediately bloomed with purple-black lightning, like a poisonous snake swimming. The lightning blasted out from Ziling's sword and turned into 9 huge thunder dragons, bombarding Mo Qingyun with great speed. Shadow Dragon Transformation. In the face of these thunder dragons' bombardment, Mo Qingyun did not dare to be the slightest bit careless and immediately displayed the Shadow Dragon Transformation. Then, Mo Qingyun's body began to grow, and in the blink of an eye, he became a huge shadow dragon. Roar! Mo Qingyun roared to the sky, and with a swing of his dragon tail, his body turned into an afterimage. Then, the 9 thunder dragons that blasted towards Mo Qingyun were quickly dodged by Mo Qingyun. Seeing Ziling attack Mo Qingyun, the elders of the Alchemist Temple were stunned for a moment. Then they showed an angry expression and shouted, Ziling, stop immediately. Do you want to challenge the dignity of the Alchemist Temple? So what if I challenge the dignity of the Alchemist Temple? As soon as the elder's words fell, Su Lao, who came with Ziling, stood up with a sneer and said, From today onwards, the Alchemist Temple will no longer exist in the immortal barren domain. The Alchemist Temple will become history. As the elder's words fell, he exuded a terrifying aura, as well as a chilling aura of the saint. He was a saint powerhouse, and not the kind who had just entered the saint realm. Of course, what shocked everyone the most was that he turned out to be a member of the Dark Demons. Dark Demons, you dare to come to the Alchemist Temple to cause trouble? Knowing the origin of the elders of the Alchemist Temple immediately gloomily shouted angrily. They didn't think that the Dark Demons would be so bold. They actually dared to act so brazenly. When the elders of the Alchemist Temple scolded Su Lao, one of the elders looked nervous and said, Quickly protect Mo Qingyun. Don't let him have the slightest accident. He is the future hope of the immortal race. Hearing this elder's words, several elders immediately flew towards Mo Qingyun to stop Ziling's attack. They knew very well how important Mo Qingyun was to the alchemist temple and even to the entire immortal race. They protected Mo Qingyun on behalf of some of the elders. Elder Fong, go immediately inform the alchemist ancestor and have him come here to suppress the dark demons. All right, I'll be right there. Elder Fong acknowledged the elder's instructions and left to inform the pill demon forefather. However, before Elder Fong could move, the sound of a terrifying battle came from the sky above the sacred hall of alchemists. Boom, boom, boom. Two giant human projections fought in the air, displaying a variety of terrifying combat arts. The alchemist ancestor is fighting with someone. That person's strength is terrifying. He's actually on par with the alchemist ancestor. That's sacred ancestor ZK of the dark demons. Didn't he die 300 million years ago? Even the sacred ancestor ZK of the dark demons is fighting. This is really troublesome. It seems they're determined to kill Mo Qingyun. Seeing the two figures in the air, everyone immediately recognized them, and a look of intense shock appeared on their faces. But before they could recover from their shock, a dozen powerful saint auras suddenly erupted around the square. Chapter 1934. Everyone's faces turned ashen when they saw the saint stage experts. Despair filled their faces. Facing such a powerful lineup, even the powerhouses of the Pill Master Temple would not be able to contend against them. City Lord, please save Qin Yun and take him away from here immediately. Seeing this scene, Gu Yang's face tensed up as he hurriedly pleaded with Luo Batian. The way he saw it, the only person who could save Mo Qin Yun was Robotion. Otherwise, once Mo Qin Yun was targeted by a saint stage expert, he would be reduced to a fate of being killed. Do I have to save him? Robotion looked hesitant at Gu Yang's pleading. He couldn't make a decision. He didn't want to make an enemy out of Mo Qin Yun, but it was too difficult for him to risk saving Mo Qin Yun. Looking at the current situation, the Dark Devil race's operation this time was clearly to kill Mo Qin Yun. If he jumped out to save Mo Qin Yun, he would become a target for all. The dark demons would attack him crazily. At that time, not only would he be able to save Mo Qin Yun, but he would also lose his life. After an intense mental struggle, Luo Batian finally came to a decision. Looking apologetically at Gu Yang, he said, Elder Gu Yang, this old man can only apologize for your request. With my ability alone, I am unable to save young Master Mo, City Lord. Gu Yang shuddered at Robotion's words. Disappointment filled his face. City Lord, Qin Yun is the future of the immortals. Are you going to watch the dark demons kill him? Elder Gu Yang, it's not that I don't want to save him. It's just that my strength is limited. Luo Batian looked helpless in the face of Gu Yang's accusation. He charged toward the saint from the Dark Devil race and said, the only thing this old man can do now is keep one saint from the Dark Devil race busy. Whether or not young Master Mo can leave this place alive will depend on his luck. Gu Yang didn't say anything else when he saw Robotion's action. He immediately rushed towards Mo Qin Yun. He knew that his request was putting Robotion in a difficult position. Robotion and Mo Qin Yun were close. They even had some conflicts. It was understandable that he didn't want to save him. As Gu Yang rushed towards Mo Qin Yun looked around and thought to himself, the dark demons really think highly of me. They made such a big fuss just to kill me, a Daluo golden immortal. Mo Qin Yun thought to himself. His mind was racing as he tried to think of a way to escape. There are so many saints here. It's not realistic to use the Shadow Dragon transformation to leave. Mo Qin Yun immediately ruled out a method. He wanted to use the teleportation gate to leave. However, Mo Qin Yun rejected the idea as soon as it appeared in his mind. He said in a deep voice, there are too many saint stage experts here. If I use the Gate of Fortune and someone recognizes it, I'm afraid my situation will become even worse. Mo Qin Yun didn't want to use the Gate of Fortune for two reasons. First, he didn't want to be recognized. Second, he didn't want to expose his identity. After all, He had used the Gate of Fortune many times when he was in the Shun clan's camp. If he used the Gate of Fortune now, his identity would be exposed to the world. It would make it difficult for him to do anything in the future. No, I can't use the Gate of Fortune. Mo Qingyun made up his mind. His expression became serious. He gritted his teeth and said, "It seems like I can only sacrifice Mo Zai to cover up my death." Mo Zai's cultivation was similar to Mo Qingyun's. Therefore, if he replaced Mo Qingyun, it wouldn't attract any attention. If I simply switch identities with Mo Zai, I'm afraid I won't be able to hide from everyone. I have to think of a way to distract them. Mo Qingyun's mind raced. Soon, he thought of an idea. He smiled brightly and said, "That's right. I can use the tribulation lightning to break through to the grand unity Xian immortal realm. I can use the tribulation lightning to cover up my identity. This way, no one will suspect me." With this thought, Mo Qingyun didn't waste any more time. He immediately started to break through to the grand unity Xian immortal realm. As Mo Qingyun broke through to the grand unity Xian immortal realm, the aura he exuded increased rapidly. At the same time, clouds gathered above Mo Qingyun. It was still a scene of tribulation lightning. Mo Qingyun's aura is increasing rapidly. It seems like he's about to break through. How can he break through at this time? This is really troublesome. Could it be that the heavens are jealous of his talent? Does the heavens want Mo Qingyun to die here? Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, everyone was anxious. They couldn't help but sigh. "Ha! Mo Qingyun, you finally have a day like this. You actually broke through at this time." Seeing Mo Qingyun's current performance, Luo Yin and Mu Junting, who were not far away, smiled gloatingly. In their opinion, Mo Qingyun's breakthrough meant that even the heavens wanted him dead. Seeing Mo Qingyun's situation, Ziling's reaction was the same as Luo Yin and Mu Junting's. She sneered complacently. "Mo Qingyun, I've already said that no one can save you today. Now, even the heavens won't let you off. Just obediently accept your death." When everyone looked at Mo Qingyun, no one made a move against Mo Qingyun. It was as if they were certain that Mo Qingyun would die. From the looks of it, my method is feasible. Seeing everyone's reaction, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He was very satisfied with the situation. Immediately, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated. His figure flashed and entered the Fortune mainland. What surprised Mo Qingyun was that when he entered the Fortune mainland, the tribulation lightning actually followed him in. Not good. I have to send Mo Zai out immediately, or the plan will fail. Noticing this sudden change, Mo Qingyun didn't delay any longer. He immediately sent Mo Zai out of the Fortune mainland. There was no other way. If he and the tribulation lightning disappeared at the same time, it would attract more attention. If people discover the Fortune mainland, it would be even more troublesome. His situation would be even worse. Although the Fortune mainland was a self-contained space that was hard to detect under normal circumstances, there was no guarantee that true Saint Realm Masters wouldn't discover it. If the Fortune mainland was discovered, the Mo family and others living on the Fortune mainland would be in danger. This situation was not what Mo Qingyun wanted to see. Fortunately, when Mo Zai returned to the Alchemist's temple, the tribulation lightning had yet to dissipate. From everyone's reaction, it seemed like they hadn't noticed that Mo Qingyun and Mo Zai had swapped identities. Chapter 1935. While Mo Qingyun was dealing with the tribulation lightning, he did not forget to conceal the Fortune mainland so that no one would be able to sense its existence. When everything was ready, Mo Qingyun raised his head to look at the sky, watching as more and more tribulation clouds gathered. As the tribulation clouds gathered, the living beings on the Fortune mainland trembled uncontrollably. They had never seen such a terrifying heaven and earth phenomenon, nor had they felt such an oppressive pressure. In their opinion, this was a sign of the world's destruction. Mo Qingyun had no idea what the Fortune mainland's residents were feeling. He was only thinking about how to survive the tribulation lightning. Come. Looking at the darkening sky, Missouri Qingyun didn't feel the slightest bit of fear. He directly flew up from the ground. As Mo Qingyun flew through the air, a bolt of tribulation lightning as thick as a water jar descended from the terrifying tribulation clouds. Shadow Dragon Transformation. While Mo Qingyun was flying in the air, he executed the Shadow Dragon Transformation without the slightest hesitation. Other than increasing speed, the Shadow Dragon Transformation also had the ability to nullify part of the attack. In the Shadow Dragon Transformation state, Mo Qingyun's defensive ability increased by several times. Mo Qingyun's action immediately attracted the Fortune Mainland's residents' attention. Quick, look, there's a giant dragon in the sky. That's the primordial divine dragon. It must be protecting us, blocking the tribulation lightning for us. That's right, it must be preventing the tribulation lightning from destroying the land. That's why it's blocking the tribulation lightning. Quickly kowtow to the dragon god. Thank Lord Dragon God for protecting us. Some of the lower cultivation aboriginals immediately knelt on the ground and kowtowed when they saw Mo Qingyun flying in the air. While these aboriginals were kowtowing, a strange energy flew out from their bodies. This spiritual energy turned into specks of starlight that flew into Mo Qingyun's body. Joss flame power. Sensing the strange power that had entered his body, Mo Qingyun could not help but become surprised. He then became overjoyed. I never thought that my actions would actually trigger the faith of the natives, allowing them to produce so much incense. This is an unexpected gain. With the support of the Joss flames, Mo Qingyun's aura immediately soared, and his combat prowess also received a slight boost. Mo Qingyun rejoiced when he sensed the changes in his body. He became even more excited and thought to himself, with the support of the Joss flames, it will be much easier for me to undergo this tribulation. Looking at the approaching tribulation lightning, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate at all. He immediately threw a punch at the tribulation lightning. Holy Demon's star-shattering fist. Mo Qingyun punched out, and an even larger dragon shadow formed within his body. When the dragon shadow was formed, it emitted an even stronger dragon might. The dragon claw clenched into a fist and punched out at the tribulation lightning. Bang! The giant dragon claw fist collided with the tribulation lightning, creating a thunderous boom that shook heaven and earth. The entire Fortune Mainland seemed to shake under the impact of this loud boom, causing the living beings on the Fortune Mainland to panic even more. Following this, the respect they had for Mo Qingyun in their hearts grew even stronger. Before the natives' eyes, the lightning pierced through the dragon claw fist and landed on Mo Qingyun's body. The lightning wrapped around Mo Qingyun and attacked Mo Qingyun's body madly. Under the impact of the lightning, Huang Xiaolong felt an intense, stinging pain on his skin. However, this feeling had just appeared when it was healed by the Joss flame power. Break for me. Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate in the slightest as he was being eroded by the lightning tribulation. He immediately twisted his body. As Mo Qingyun twisted his body, a shocking amount of immortal spiritual force burst out from his body. Under the impact of this immortal spiritual force, the lightning wrapped around Huang Xiaolong's body dissipated in an instant. In the next moment, the oppressive lightning turned into specks of lightning and dissipated between heaven and earth. However, before the specks of lightning dissipated, another oppressive tribulation lightning fell from the sky. Facing the second tribulation lightning, Mo Qingyun did not show the slightest fear. Instead, he faced the tribulation lightning with an arrogant expression. Just like this, Mo Qingyun withstood 9 consecutive tribulation lightning bolts before the dark clouds in the sky slowly dissipated. As the dark clouds in the sky dispersed, the world regained its brightness. However, the Fortune Mainland's natives were unable to calm down even after a long time. They once again kowtowed to Mo Qingyun. As these natives kowtowed, a wisp of Joss flame power flowed out from their bodies. This wisp of Joss flame power entered Mo Qingyun's body and healed Mo Qingyun's injuries. Under the healing effect of the Joss flame power, Mo Qingyun's injuries, which were not serious to begin with, were healed in a short time. It seems that if I want to break through in the future, I can do it on the Fortune mainland. Looking at the situation in front of him, Mo Qingyun's lips curled into a faint smile as a plan formed in his mind. Huang Xiaolong did not expect that he would be able to obtain Joss flame power while breaking through on the Fortune mainland. This was really an unexpected gain. Mo Qingyun muttered to himself. Without hesitation, he flew towards the ground. Back on the ground, Mo Qingyun did not waste any time and immediately stabilized his cultivation. Outside the Fortune mainland, on the Alchemist Temple's Pill Refining Square, as Mo Qingyun entered the Fortune mainland, the tribulation clouds above the Pill Refining Square gradually dissipated. Looking at this scene, everyone's eyes widened. For a long time, they did not recover from their shock. What kind of situation was this? Did Mo Qingyun fail his tribulation? Why did the tribulation clouds above the Pill Refining Square start to dissipate before the tribulation lightning dissipated? In their understanding, the tribulation clouds would slowly disperse after the tribulation lightning dissipated. Why was it the other way around? What's going on? Why did the tribulation clouds suddenly retreat? I think Mo Qingyun must have completed his tribulation. Is that really the case? Why do I feel that something is wrong? This scene was too abnormal for everyone. It was the complete opposite of what they knew. At this moment, they felt that their brains were not enough to process this. Mo Qingyun's cultivation has broken through to the grand unity, mysterious, immortal realm. He actually succeeded in breaking through. This kid is really amazing. Under such circumstances, he still managed to break through. Even so, his cultivation is still too low. He can't change his fate. AI, the heavens are really jealous of geniuses. A peerless genius is about to fall. The Dark Devil race is too despicable. Seeing the change in Mo Qingyun's cultivation, everyone couldn't help but sigh. They felt that it was a pity for Mo Qingyun. Chapter 1936. As soon as Elder Su finished speaking, he struck out with his palm, carrying with it a saintly aura that could destroy heaven and earth. Elder Su's attack was extremely fast. Before Mo Zai could react, his palm had already hit her. Facing Elder Su's palm strike, Mo Zai did not have the slightest ability to resist. Elder Su's palm strike directly blasted her apart. Boom! Then, Mo Zai turned into a cloud of smoke and slowly dissipated between heaven and earth. Seeing this scene, everyone was immediately dumbfounded, unable to recover for a long time. They had already expected that Mo Qingyun would not be able to escape today. But when they saw Mo Qingyun being killed, they still found it hard to accept. They were still in a daze for a long time. Mo Qingyun is dead? A prodigy of a generation has fallen, just like that? It seems so. After being hit by the full power of a Saint Realm powerhouse, his soul should have been destroyed. What a pity. I didn't expect such a prodigy to be so short-lived. Everyone sighed as they watched Mo Qingyun disappear. Their emotions became complicated all of a sudden. How dare you behave so atrociously in the Alchemist Temple? Today, none of you will leave. While everyone was talking, a powerful saint aura rushed toward them at an extremely fast speed. Not long after, the crowd saw several figures approaching. These people were all Saint Realm experts. When these people arrived, they immediately charged towards the Dark Devil race, temporarily suppressing them. Seeing that the reinforcements from the Alchemist Temple had arrived, Saint Ancestor ZK, who was fighting the Pill Demon, ordered the Dark Demons, since that brat is dead. The purpose of this trip has been achieved. Everyone go back. Hearing this, the Dark Demons didn't dare to linger. They immediately retreated from the Alchemist Temple. Seeing that the Dark Demons were about to leave, a white-haired saint from the Alchemist Temple shouted with a cold expression. close the defensive formation, and seal them in the alchemist temple. The reinforcements from the other sects have arrived. Today, they won't be able to leave. As soon as the white-haired elder finished speaking, a huge seven-colored light screen formed above the alchemist temple. The huge light screen blocked the dark demon saints, trapping them in the alchemist temple. Seeing that the dark demon saints were trapped, Saint Ancestor Z.K. curled his lips into a contemptuous smile. You think too highly of yourself if you think a mere one-star saint formation can keep my people here. Break! As soon as Saint Ancestor Z.K. finished speaking, he waved his hand and blasted out a mysterious power. As soon as this power appeared, the space in the alchemist temple shook, causing a temporary spatial distortion. Bang! A crisp sound rang out as the seven-colored light screen above the alchemist temple shattered in an instant. Seeing that the Pill Master Temple's defensive formation had been destroyed, the Dark Demon Saints immediately retreated and left the Pill Master Temple. As the Dark Demons left, Saint Ancestor Z.K. glanced at the Pill Demon with a contemptuous smile. Pill Demon, your alchemy skills are indeed very high, and this old man admires you from the bottom of my heart. But when it comes to fighting, you're still nothing in front of me. As soon as Divine Ancestor Z.K. finished speaking, he waved his sleeve and led the Dark Demons away. ZK, don't be too proud. This old man will definitely get revenge for today's incident. Seeing ZK flee, the Pill Demon's eyes turned red, and a burst of demonic power erupted from his body. The disciple he thought most highly of had been killed right in front of his eyes. This kind of thing was simply a great humiliation to him, and it made him feel incomparably guilty. The Pill Demon said angrily. His figure flashed, and he arrived at the Alchemist Square. Senior Qing Yun. Seeing the Pill Demon arrive at the Alchemist Square, Gu Yang's face was filled with grief and indignation, and his eyes were bloodshot. Just now, Mo Qing Yun had been killed by Elder Su of the Dark Demon clan in front of him, and he couldn't do anything about it. The Pill Demon didn't pay attention to Gu Yang's words. Instead, he looked around gloomily and shouted, "Stinking brat, this old man doesn't believe you'll die so easily. If you're still alive, you must remember to come find this old man. Ancestor, the dead can't be brought back to life. The dark demons came too fiercely this time. Don't blame yourself too much." Seeing the Pill Demon's expression, a saint from the Alchemist Temple comforted him. "I think that if Mo Qing Yun is still alive, he wouldn't want to see you like this." Hearing this, the Pill Demon turned to look at him, his eyes filled with grief and self-blame. Taking a look at this saint, the Pill Demon's expression turned slightly better. He said, "Since ZK is still alive, I'm afraid the other old ghosts of the Dark Demon clan are still alive in this world. You should prepare early. I'll take my leave first." As soon as the Pill Devil finished speaking, he ignored the crowd and left under their gazes. Sigh. Looking at the Pill Demon's back, the saint sighed and said to the people around him, "Judging from the situation just now, the Dark Demon clan has hidden their strength for many years. Their strength has reached a terrifying level, and it's not something our Alchemist Temple can contend against. I'd better make plans early." Next, the Saint Realm experts of the Alchemist Temple began to settle everyone down. Damn the Dark Demon clan. They actually ruined this old man's plan. Seeing Mo Qing Yun killed in such a domineering manner, Gong Pingyang's face darkened, and a strong anger rose in his heart. In his view, now that Mo Qing Yun was dead, all his fantasies were shattered. Compared to Gong Pingyang's mood, Chen Yish was rejoicing. "I didn't expect the Dark Devil race to send out such a terrifying lineup to deal with this brat. Fortunately, I didn't seize his body. Otherwise, I would be dead for sure." His cultivation wasn't as strong as Gong Pingyang's, so in this situation, he had no chance of escaping. "Haha, brat, weren't you very arrogant? I didn't expect you to have such a day." Luo Yin sneered when he saw Mo Qing Yun being killed. He could not help but take pleasure in Mo Qing Yun's misfortune. Standing next to Luo Yin, Robotion's expression was a bit complicated. No one knew what he was thinking. Roba Tian pondered for a moment, then walked in front of Guyang and said, "Consecrated Guyang, this old man knows you have resentment in your heart, but I still hope you can return to Cloud Sky City with me and continue to help me refine pills. City Lord, you don't have to blame yourself for this. It's not your fault." Hearing Roba Tian's words, Guyang looked sad. He waved his hand at Roba Tian and sighed. "If you had helped Qin Yun, I'm afraid you would have died with him. You can only blame the Dark Demon clan for hiding too deeply." Chapter 1937. Sigh. In the end, the Dark Devil race is too shameless. Roba Tian sighed when he heard Gu Yang's words. Anger slowly surfaced on his face as he said, "Who would have thought that the Dark Devil race would send out such a powerful force to deal with a mere golden immortal realm junior? Let's go." Perhaps Guyang didn't want to linger in such a sad place, so he left Luo Batian and headed out of the Temple of Alchemists. Roba Tian didn't say anything when he saw Gu Yang's reaction. He nodded to Luo Yin and said, "Yin, shall we go as well?" When Roba Tian and the others left, Luo Yin saw Gong Pingyang and walked towards him. "Brother Mu, it's not safe here. Let's leave together." "All right." Gong Pingyang nodded and accepted Luo Yan's invitation. He had just left the Sacred Medicine Valley and was worried about finding a place to stay. Following Luo Yin was a good choice. When he left with Luo Yin, Gong Pingyang gave Mu Junting a look, indicating for him to leave with him. When everyone was leaving, Qin Yish frowned. His mind spun quickly. The Alchemist Temple has a long heritage. There are countless treasures inside. Now that they are in chaos, maybe I can fish in troubled waters. With this thought in mind, Qin Yish wasn't in a hurry to leave. He planned to fish for some benefits before leaving. Is he really dead? Zhuomeng looked at the empty square in a daze. She still couldn't accept this result. She vaguely remembered how omnipotent Mo Qingyun was in the Sacred Medicine Valley a few days ago. How did he end up dead in the blink of an eye? The affairs of the world were truly unpredictable. On the Fortune mainland, Mo Qingyun was in the middle of cultivation. He didn't know anything about the outside world. If he knew, he would be very satisfied. This was the effect he wanted. Although he hid it from the Pill Devil and the others, he had no choice. Under those circumstances, he didn't have much time to tell them his thoughts. Time slowly passed. After about half a month, Mo Qingyun withdrew from his cultivation and successfully stabilized his cultivation. Originally, Mo Qingyun only needed 3 to 5 days to stabilize his cultivation base. It was only because Mo Zai's death that his mind had been injured, which was why he had taken a few more days. I wonder what's going on outside? Leaving his cultivation, Mo Qingyun had a curious expression on his face as he considered whether or not he should go out. Mo Qingyun hesitated for a moment before coming to a decision. He thought to himself, "I'll have to face it sooner or later. There's no point in staying here. I'll go out and take a look at the situation." Although Mo Qingyun had made his decision, he didn't rush out. Instead, he released a ghost. The ghost was connected to Mo Qingyun's mind. Through it, Mo Qingyun could roughly sense the situation in the outside world. It seems that the dark demons have retreated. A short while later, Mo Qingyun's expression relaxed as he gained some understanding of the situation outside. Knowing that the dark demons had retreated, Mo Qingyun didn't waste any more time, leaving the Fortune mainland in a flicker. I've collected 8 of the 9 holy bloodlines in Xuanwu's blood. It's time to look for the 9 days Nirvana Creation Pills pill formula. Coming out from the Fortune mainland, Mo Qingyun quickly made up his mind. He decided to make a trip to the Cloud Sky City first. If the 9 days Nirvana Creation Pills pill formula was really in Roba's hands, it would save him a lot of trouble. When he arrived at the Cloud Sky City, he didn't need to steal the 9 days Nirvana Creation Pills pill formula. He only needed to secretly memorize the pill formula. At that time, he could leave without anyone knowing, giving everyone the false impression that he was dead. If the various forces didn't know that he was still alive, his journey to find Xuanwu's blood would be much easier and smoother. With this thought in mind, Qingyun flew out of the alchemist temple, heading towards the cloud sky city. What surprised Qingyun was that there was no one in the alchemist temple. Could it be that the alchemist temple was really destroyed? Looking at the empty alchemist temple, Qingyun speculated in his heart. He was very surprised by this situation. While Qingyun was pondering, he saw a figure sneaking in front of him. It's him. When Qingyun saw the figure in front of him, he was astonished as he recognized the other party's identity. The person in front of Qingyun was none other than Chun Yish, who had stayed behind to fish in troubled waters. When Qingyun saw Chun Yish, the other party also saw Qingyun, and he froze on the spot. A few days ago, he had seen Qingyun being killed with his own eyes, and now Qingyun was actually alive. This was simply too bizarre. Qingyun, you're not dead? Chun Yish felt that his brain was not enough to process this, and he looked at Qingyun in shock. Without waiting for Qingyun to answer, Chun Yish sneered and said to himself, "This kid has countless treasures on him. Since I've met him again, I can't let him escape. It's a pity that I can't take over his body." With this thought in mind, Chun Yish did not hesitate and immediately rushed towards Qingyun. "I've been discovered." Seeing Chun Yish rushing towards him, Qingyun's face turned cold, and he immediately emitted a murderous aura. This guy had discovered his existence, and he could not be allowed to live, or he would definitely be a disaster. "Kid, I didn't expect you to be so lucky. You could even deceive everyone under such circumstances." Chun Yish's figure flashed a few times, and he arrived in front of Qingyun. He sneered and said, "However, you probably didn't expect to fall in my hands in the end. Icy Eagle Ice House." As Chun Yish spoke, he did not forget to throw a punch at Qingyun, and a terrifying chill burst out from his palm. Waves of terrifying, immortal spiritual energy immediately froze the surroundings, sealing off Qingyun's escape. Qingyun did not mind Chun Yish's actions at all. He said calmly, "I didn't expect you to be the first person I want to kill after my breakthrough. You want to kill me?" Chun Yish immediately burst out laughing when he heard Qingyun's words. His eyes were filled with disdain as he said, "If you have the ability, why did you run away with your tail between your legs when you faced me in the Hidden Dragon Snow Mountain in the Sacred Medicine Valley?" Chun Yish's expression turned blank before he could finish a sentence. Several terrifying auras suddenly appeared around him, and each of them was at the 7th or 8th layer of the 9 heavens' profound immortal realm. Following that, he saw several huge figures surrounding him. Chapter 1938. Little brother, let's talk nicely. I was just joking earlier." Chun Yish immediately smiled apologetically to Qingyun when he noticed the situation before him wasn't right, and he begged for mercy. The corners of Qingyun's mouth curled up slightly when he heard Chun Yish, and he smiled faintly. "Do you like to joke?" Yes. Chun Yish had a panicked expression under Qingyun's gaze, and he stuttered as he replied. He was filled with regret now. If he knew earlier that Qingyun had so many powerful subordinates, he wouldn't dare to offend Qingyun. Even if he was given 10 guts, he wouldn't dare to target Qingyun. "Sorry, I took it seriously." Qingyun shrugged with a helpless expression, and then he glanced at the 7-headed Azure, WYRM, and said, "7-headed Azure, WYRM, I presume you'll like this fellow's corpse more, right?" "Master, you really understand me. If I devour him, then perhaps I can charge into the 9th level of the 9 heavens' profound immortal realm." After the 7-headed Azure, WYRM, refined the corpse in the tomb, his cultivation rose explosively and directly charged to the peak of the 8th level of the 9 heavens' profound immortal realm. In this way, if he refined Chun Yish, then perhaps he really had a chance to charge into the 9th level of the 9 heavens' profound immortal realm. "Let's do it." Qingyun nodded with a faint smile when he heard the 7-headed Azure WYRM, and then he gave the order to the group of ghosts. After receiving Qingyun's order, the ghosts and the 7-headed Azure WYRM didn't dare hesitate and immediately pounced at Chinyish. Under the joint attack of the ghosts and the seven-headed azure WYRM, Chunyish's situation immediately became dangerous. A faint smile appeared on the corners of Mo Qingyun's mouth when he saw this scene, and he walked leisurely to the side to watch the battle. What he had to do now was to prevent Chinyish from using some trump cards and finding an opportunity to escape. Now that Chinyish knew he wasn't dead, he couldn't let him escape no matter what. What made Mo Qingyun feel helpless was that he seemed to have overestimated Chinyish. Even though this fellow's cultivation wasn't bad, his combat strength was too weak, and he wasn't a match for the seven-headed azure WYRM at all. Not to mention, when the seven-headed green serpent attacked, there was also a group of ghosts assisting it. The current situation was rather similar to the battle between the Pill Devil and ZK, except that Chinyish became the Pill Devil. I can't accept this. I don't want to die. Not long after, under the seven-headed green Jiao Dragon's attack, Chinyish was killed unwillingly. After killing Chinyish, the seven-headed green flood dragon opened its mouth and swallowed Chinyish whole. Seeing that Chinyish had been killed, Mo Qingyun's expression relaxed as he vigilantly scanned his surroundings. Since Chinyish was in the Pill Master Temple, he couldn't guarantee that there was no one else in the temple. Fortunately, Mo Qingyun didn't discover anyone else after he probed around for a while. After obtaining this result, Mo Qingyun's expression relaxed, and he put away the seven-headed azure flood dragon and the ghost. Old geezer Huangfeng, take my place and go to Cloud Sky City to find Guyang. After summoning old geezer Huangfeng, Mo Qingyun gave him some instructions before returning to the Fortune mainland. Although he had faked his death to deceive everyone that day, it didn't mean that he didn't need to worry. However, that didn't mean that he could appear without any worries. What if someone recognized him? If news of his fake death leaked out, the Dark Devil race wouldn't let him off so easily. They would find another opportunity to make a move on him. Currently, he still had important matters to attend to in the immortal desolate world. He couldn't afford to be affected by this matter. Yes. Hearing Mo Qingyun's order, old geezer Huangfeng nodded and rushed towards the Cloud Sky City. When Mo Qingyun returned to the Fortune mainland, he didn't cultivate. Instead, he went to Qian Linglong's residence. When he arrived at Qian Linglong's residence, Mo Qingyun discovered that Qian Linglong and the others were still in a state of deep sleep. Not only that, their auras seemed to be weaker than before. I must hurry and get the 9 days Nirvana Creation Pills pill formula, as well as all the ingredients needed to refine it. Looking at the several women's condition, Mo Qingyun's expression turned solemn. Determination flickered in his eyes as he said, Han Yin, Qingyu, Wenyu, Linglong, don't worry, I will definitely save you. Mo Qingyun didn't linger any longer after saying that. He rushed towards the Qingyun Valley. He wanted to see how Qingyun Valley was doing these days. Mo Qingyun's figure flickered and appeared outside the Qingyun Valley. He saw the Mo family's juniors guarding the valley. Uncle Qingyun, Uncle Qingyun. The two juniors were pleasantly surprised when they saw Mo Qingyun appear. They immediately saluted Mo Qingyun. After the two of them saluted, they revealed excited expressions and quickly ran towards Qingyun Valley. As the two of them ran, they even shouted excitedly, "Grandfather, Uncle, come quickly, Uncle Qingyun is back." As the young man's word spread, the crowd in Qingyun Valley was immediately attracted. Not long after, men and women, young and old, hundreds of people surrounded Mo Qingyun. Seeing such a lineup, Mo Qingyun couldn't help but smile bitterly. His emotions were complicated all of a sudden. This welcoming lineup seemed to be a little too big. Grandfather, father, mother, seeing the crowd in front of him, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and greeted them. After everyone greeted each other, Mo Hong Tian waved his hand at the crowd and said, "All right, everyone can disperse. Don't block the road here." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the crowd didn't stay any longer and immediately opened a path for Mo Qingyun. "Qingyun, since the last time you left, It seems like you haven't been back for a very long time. After everyone left, Imo Hong Tian revealed a gratified expression and chatted with Imo Qingyun as they walked. Hearing Imo Hong Tian's words, Imo Qingyun nodded and said, "Recently, I've been in the immortal desolate realm. I had to be careful with everything, so I didn't return to Qingyun Valley." Hearing Imo Qingyun's words, Imo Hong Tian and the others' expressions immediately turned serious and worried. Imo Qingyun's body contained the blood of the God tribe. They were very clear that he was a member of the God tribe. The Immortal tribe and the God tribe were old enemies. Imo Qingyun had entered the Immortal tribe's camp. One could imagine how dangerous his situation was. Has the matter with the Immortal tribe been settled? Hearing Imo Qingyun's words, Yuyo's pretty face tensed up as she asked Imo Qingyun with concern. Hearing Yuyo's words, the others' expressions also tensed up, showing their concern for Imo Qingyun. "Don't worry, everyone. The matter has basically been settled." Looking at everyone's tense expressions, Imo Qingyun gave them a comforting smile and changed the topic. "I came back this time mainly because I have a treasure that I want to bring back and show you all." Hearing Imo Qingyun's words, everyone's attention was immediately diverted, and they all revealed curious expressions. Chapter 1939. Under everyone's curious gazes, Imo Qingyun and the others arrived at the meeting hall of Qingyun Valley. Imo Qingyun walked into the hall and took out the myriad transformation medicinal crystal furnace, displaying it in front of everyone. "Qingyun, is this a pill furnace?" Seeing the myriad transformation medicinal crystal furnace in front of them, everyone was puzzled and looked at Imo Qingyun in confusion. Imo Qingyun's disciples all knew how to refine pills and had seen many pill furnaces before, but the one in front of them was different. Thinking of this, their curiosity about the myriad transformation medicinal crystal furnace immediately became stronger. In their opinion, Imo Qingyun had taken out a pill furnace for them to see, so this pill furnace must be extraordinary. Under everyone's curious gazes, Imo Qingyun did not keep them in suspense and immediately explained, "This is the myriad transformation medicinal crystal furnace, the treasure of the ancient alchemy sect, Blue Jade Medicinal Crystal Palace. It can be used to mix immortal spirit stones and medicinal herbs to refine a kind of cultivation crystal called a medicinal crystal." Hearing Imo Qingyun's explanation, everyone's eyes widened and their faces were filled with intense confusion. Mixing immortal spirit stones and medicinal herbs to refine a kind of cultivation crystal was already beyond their understanding. Looking at everyone's confused expressions, Imo Qingyun organized his words and said, "I have not refined medicinal crystals before, so I'm not too sure how they are refined." Imo Qingyun paused for a moment before continuing, "Medicinal crystals are easier to refine than immortal spirit stones. Furthermore, refining medicinal crystals for cultivation won't be the same as refining elixirs. Refining medicinal crystals for cultivation won't leave behind any side effects after a long time. If that is the case, the value of this myriad transformation medicinal crystal furnace is immeasurable." After listening to Imo Qingyun's explanation, Imo Hong Tian and the others were shocked and couldn't help but sigh with emotion. After explaining the myriad transformation medicinal crystal furnace to everyone, Imo Qingyun also had some expectations. He said, "Now, I will use the myriad transformation medicinal crystal furnace to refine a furnace of medicinal crystals." Upon hearing Imo Qingyun's words, everyone's eyes immediately lit up and they all revealed expressions of anticipation. Following that, everyone hurriedly retreated to give Imo Qingyun some space. "Rise." When everyone made way, Imo Qingyun pointed at the myriad transformations medicinal crystal furnace and opened its lid. Then, Imo Qingyun took out the immortal spirit stones and medicinal ingredients and threw them into the myriad transformations medicinal crystal furnace. Imo Qingyun threw the immortal spirit stones and medicinal ingredients into the myriad transformations medicinal crystal furnace. Then, he sent flames into the furnace. Bang! A scorching soul fire ignited inside the myriad transformations medicinal crystal furnace, refining medicinal ingredients and immortal spirit stones. The process of refining medicinal crystals was more or less the same as refining medicinal pills. Hence, Mo Qingyun could be considered to have accomplished it with ease. Time passed quietly as the crowd waited. Several hours later, the myriad transformations medicinal crystal furnace, which had been calm all this time, suddenly produced spiritual energy fluctuations, and a light blue mist escaped from it. The blue mist dissipated and condensed bit by bit, turning into blue ice crystal flowers. Wow, so beautiful! Seeing these blue ice crystal flowers, some of the young women of the Mo family couldn't help but exclaim. However, although they were excited and shouted in surprise, they didn't dare to disturb Mo Qingyun. The crystal flowers have appeared, indicating that the medicinal crystals have been refined. Seeing the crystal flowers around the myriad transformations medicinal crystal furnace, Mo Qingyun's face immediately lit up with joy, and he stopped refining medicinal crystals. Then, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and waved, opening the myriad transformations medicinal crystal furnace. As the myriad transformations medicinal crystal furnace was opened, a strong wave of immortal spirit qi drifted out from inside. At the same time, Mo Qingyun also saw pieces of ice blue medicinal crystals appear in the myriad transformations medicinal crystal furnace. Success! Seeing the ice blue medicinal crystals, Mo Qingyun's face immediately lit up with joy, and he became excited all of a sudden. Judging from the current situation, his first refining of medicinal crystals could be considered a success. Collect. Looking at the medicinal crystals in the myriad transformations medicinal crystal furnace, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and took a piece of medicinal crystal into his hand. After taking the medicinal crystal into his hand, Mo Qingyun released his soul power and sensed the medicinal crystal. What rich, immortal spirit qi! After sensing for a while, Mo Qingyun immediately had a clear understanding of the spirit qi contained in the medicinal crystal. Judging from the current situation, the immortal spirit qi contained in an ordinary medicinal crystal is almost equivalent to 10,000 pieces of supreme-grade immortal spirit stones. After getting such a result, Mo Qingyun was immediately shocked, and he truly realized the value of the myriad transformations medicinal crystal furnace. According to the amount of spirit qi contained, immortal spirit stones were divided into 4 grades: low grade, middle grade, high grade, and supreme grade. The value of a supreme-grade immortal spirit stone was equivalent to 100 high-grade immortal spirit stones, and so on. The value of an ordinary medicinal crystal was equivalent to 10,000 pieces of supreme-grade immortal spirit stones. What a terrifying value! From this point, it could be seen how precious the myriad transformations medicinal crystal furnace that could refine medicinal crystals was. Phew! Mo Qingyun took a deep breath to ease the shock in his heart and began to refine the medicinal crystal in his hand. He wanted to see what kind of difference there was between refining medicinal crystals and refining immortal spirit stones. Under Mo Qingyun's tyrannical refining, the immortal spirit qi contained in the medicinal crystal was quickly extracted by him. Then, Mo Qingyun transformed the extracted immortal spirit qi into Xianqing spirit qi in his body. In the blink of an eye, the immortal spirit qi contained in the medicinal crystal was completely refined by Mo Qingyun. Because of this, Mo Qingyun also understood the difference between refining medicinal crystals and immortal spirit stones. He was inwardly shocked. The immortal spiritual energy contained in medicinal crystals is at least 10 times faster than the immortal spiritual energy contained in immortal spirit stones. This discovery once again shocked Mo Qingyun, and he was unable to recover for a long time. After the comparison just now, the difference between the value of medicinal crystals and immortal spirit stones was too obvious. From the medicinal crystal that I refined just now, I have completely understood the difference between medicinal crystals and immortal spirit stones. After learning the difference between medicinal crystals and immortal spirit stones, Mo Qingyun looked at Mo Hongtian and the others and began to explain to them. Under normal circumstances, the amount of immortal spirit qi contained in a medicinal crystal is roughly equivalent to 10,000 pieces of supreme-grade immortal spirit stones. In addition, the refining speed of medicinal crystals is 10 times faster than immortal spirit stones. After listening to Mo Qingyun's explanation, everyone was stunned on the spot and felt that their hearts were about to jump out of their chests. He knew that the medicinal crystals were truly precious, but the value being high to such an extent still greatly exceeded his expectations. While everyone was still in shock, Mo Qingyun took out the medicinal crystals from the 10,000 transformations medicinal crystal furnace and handed them to Mo Hongtian. "Grandfather, I need to go into seclusion for a period of time to refine more medicinal crystals. These are the medicinal crystals that I refined just now. Distribute them to everyone to refine first." "Okay." Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Mo Hongtian immediately nodded and took the medicinal crystals. Chapter 1940. Mo Qingyun came to the place where he was in seclusion. He took out the myriad medicinal crystal furnace and continued to refine medicinal crystals. Soon, a large number of immortal spirit stones and alchemy materials were thrown into the myriad medicinal crystal furnace. Mo Qingyun planned to refine as many medicinal crystals as possible while he was on his way to Cloud Heaven City. By then, the people of Qingyun Valley would be able to use these medicinal crystals to quickly improve their cultivation. With sufficient cultivation resources, everyone's cultivation had improved quickly, and many of them had reached the perfected golden immortal realm. But in Mo Qingyun's opinion, this was still far from enough. Among the people he came into contact with, the weakest cultivation was at the Nine Heavens' mysterious immortal realm. Therefore, the cultivation of the people of Qingyun Valley was still too weak. Before they reached the Nine Heavens' mysterious immortal realm, it could be said that they didn't even have the ability to protect themselves. After everything was ready, Mo Qingyun no longer delayed and immediately immersed himself in refining medicinal crystals. Mo Qingyun spent the rest of the time like this, refining the immortal spirit stones and alchemy materials into medicinal crystals. As Mo Qingyun continued to refine, his refining techniques and movements became more and more skillful. Not only that, as Mo Qingyun's technique became more skillful, the grade of the medicinal crystals he refined also increased. Compared to the medicinal crystals he was refining now, the medicinal crystals he refined before could only be regarded as low-grade medicinal crystals. The difference in spiritual power between low-grade and mid-grade medicinal crystals was about 100. If my guess is correct, the difference in spiritual power between each grade of medicinal crystal should also be 100. Discovering the difference between each grade of medicinal crystal, Mo Qingyun said with an excited expression, "In this way, if I refine a top-grade medicinal crystal, wouldn't it be equivalent to hundreds of millions of immortal spirit stones? Its value is comparable to some precious immortal elixirs." The more Mo Qingyun thought about it, the more excited he became. Once again, he had a new understanding of the preciousness of the myriad medicinal crystal furnace. This time, he really picked up a treasure. For the rest of the time, Mo Qingyun immersed himself in refining medicinal crystals. He only stopped when all the immortal spirit stones were used up. "Although I only refined 1,000,000 medicinal crystals, it's enough for everyone to cultivate for a while." Looking at the 1,000,000 medicinal crystals in front of him, Mo Qingyun revealed a joyful smile as he thought to himself. Seeing that the immortal spirit stones were used up, Mo Qingyun put the medicinal crystals away, got up, and walked out of the room. When Mo Qingyun came out, he went directly to Mo Hongtian's residence and saw Mo Hongtian was delegating matters. Qing Yun. Qing Yun. Mo Qing Yun smiled faintly and shook his head when he heard Mo Hongtian's question. He said, "This time, I didn't cultivate to increase my cultivation. Instead, I was refining medicinal crystals. I refined 1,000,000 medicinal crystals during this period of time. Distribute them to the clan members so they can cultivate." 1,000,000 medicinal crystals. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Hongtian's old face immediately trembled. His body trembled slightly. 1,000,000 medicinal crystals was equivalent to 10 billion top-grade immortal spirit stones. This was a huge sum of money. He really didn't expect Mo Qingyun to refine so many medicinal crystals in such a short period of time. "Okay, I'll make the arrangements later." Mo Hongtian calmed himself down. When he took the medicinal crystals from Mo Qingyun's hand, he revealed a gratified expression. He patted Mo Qingyun's shoulder and said, "Qingyun, diligently cultivating is a good thing. However, cultivating isn't the only thing. If you have time, go and spend more time with those girls." "Okay, I know." Mo Qingyun nodded when he heard Mo Hongtian's words. He felt a little guilty. Ever since he came to the Wasteland continent, he had been busy cultivating. He had indeed neglected Yi Wuyo and the other girls. When Mo Qingyun thought of this, he decided to go and see the girls. He bid farewell to Mo Hongtian and said, "Grandfather, I'll go and see senior sister Wuyo and the others. I won't disturb you any longer. Go, go." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Hongtian nodded with a smile and waved at Mo Qingyun. Seeing Mo Hongtian's action, Mo Qingyun turned around and left the courtyard. He headed to the residence of Yi Wuyo and the other girls. Soon, Mo Qingyun arrived at the courtyard of Yi Wuyo and the other girls. He heard the girls chattering in the courtyard. "Wuyo, your junior brother Qingyun is back. Why aren't you going to get closer to him?" "Palace Master Ling, I see that you've been a little heaty lately. Why don't I get your little brother Qingyun to help you cool down?" Yes. Get little brother Qingyun to cool down your heaty. He helped you cool down once before. Hong Fan, don't make a fuss. A few days ago, you said that you liked children. Why don't you get Qingyun to create one for you?" The more the girls talked, the more excited they became. When they heard Mo Qingyun, who was outside the courtyard, their expressions became extremely awkward. Ahem. After calming himself down, Mo Qingyun cleared his throat and slowly walked into the courtyard. As soon as Mo Qingyun appeared, the maidens blushed and made bashful expressions. Following that, the girls began to chatter and complain about each other. "It's all your fault. Qingyun must have heard what we said just now. So what if he heard it? You'll be his sooner or later anyway. You're still talking about me, aren't you? Why don't I fulfill your wish now?" In an instant, the girls began to tease Mo Qingyun again, completely ignoring him. Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun smiled bitterly. He didn't know what to do. Seeing Mo Qingyun's awkward expression, the obedient and sensible Wen Zhaodi walked in front of Mo Qingyun and said, "Master, come sit here. I'll cut some tea for you." When they saw Wen Zhaodi's actions, the eyes of Yi Wuyo and the other girls lit up. They all smiled slyly. Then, the girls came to Mo Qingyun's side and imitated Wen Zhaodi. "Master, I'll treat you to some pastries. Big brother Qingyun, I'll massage your shoulders. Little brother Qingyun, I'll massage your arms." After a while, Mo Qingyun was surrounded by the girls and enjoyed the treatment of an emperor. Mo Qingyun immediately felt helpless about this. He could not help but feel somewhat uncomfortable. Thinking of this, Mo Qingyun spread his hands at the girls and gestured for them to sit down. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, the girls stopped fooling around and sat down around Mo Qingyun. Next, Mo Qingyun had a heart-to-heart chat with the girls and told them about his recent experiences. Time passed quickly while Mo Qingyun accompanied the girls. In the blink of an eye, a few days had passed. "Master, I've arrived at Cloud Sky City." At this moment, when Mo Qingyun was accompanying the girls, Huang Feng suddenly sent him a voice transmission. Hearing Huang Feng's voice transmission, Mo Qingyun's expression turned serious, and he immediately stood up from the stone bench. Chapter 1941. After giving some instructions to the women, Mo Qingyun left the Fortune mainland and arrived at Old Ghost Huang Feng's side. Old Ghost Huang Feng was a cautious person. He did not enter the city recklessly. Instead, he hid in a stone forest not far from the Cloud Heaven city. "Master, are we entering the city now?" Old Ghost Huang Feng immediately saluted when he saw Mo Qingyun and inquired about Mo Qingyun's plan. Hearing Old Ghost Huang Feng's words, Mo Qingyun fell silent for a moment. Then he said solemnly to Old Ghost Huang Feng, "I'm going to use a secret technique to conceal myself and enter the city. It will be inconvenient for you to follow me. I'll send you to the Fortune mainland first." Old Ghost Huang Feng nodded and was sent to the Fortune mainland by Mo Qingyun. Concealment door. After sending Old Ghost Huang Feng to the Fortune mainland, Mo Qingyun activated the concealment door and slowly walked towards the Cloud Heaven city. A short while later, Mo Qingyun silently entered the Cloud Heaven city. After entering the Cloud Heaven city, Mo Qingyun directly went to Gu Yang's residence to see if Gu Yang was in the city. If Gu Yang was in the Cloud Heaven city, Huang Xiaolong could ask Gu Yang about the current situation. A few moments later, Mo Qingyun arrived at Gu Yang's residence. He was familiar with the place. In the courtyard, Gu Yang was arranging the ingredients for refining pills. His face was filled with self-blame and loneliness. "Martial uncle." Looking at Gu Yang's gloomy expression, Mo Qingyun transmitted his voice and slowly walked towards him. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Gu Yang's expression changed, and he looked around in shock. "Martial uncle, I'll stand behind you. Let's find a safe place to talk." Seeing Gu Yang's action, Mo Qingyun transmitted his voice again, telling him that it was not convenient for him to show himself. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Gu Yang immediately understood that Mo Qingyun was using a concealment technique. Last time, Mo Qingyun had used the same method to sneak away. Understanding this point, Gu Yang no longer hesitated and immediately walked into a secret chamber. When Gu Yang entered the secret chamber, Mo Qingyun hurriedly followed behind him and sent a voice transmission to Gu Yang. Upon receiving Mo Qingyun's signal, Gu Yang activated the secret chamber's spirit array, isolating it from the outside world. As soon as the isolation array was activated, Mo Qingyun appeared in front of Gu Yang. "Qingyun, it's really you." Seeing Mo Qingyun in front of him, Gu Yang's face lit up with joy and excitement. He couldn't believe it. He had seen Mo Qingyun being killed with his own eyes. Now, Mo Qingyun had actually come back to life. After a brief moment of shock, Gu Yang's face lit up with ecstasy as he asked excitedly, "You're all right? Are you really all right? Hurry up and tell me, how did you escape from the Dark Demon Saint?" As soon as Gu Yang finished speaking, he pulled Mo Qingyun to sit down and looked at Mo Qingyun expectantly. Under Gu Yang's questioning, Mo Qingyun didn't hide anything and truthfully told him, "That day, I sensed that something was wrong and knew that it was impossible for me to escape, so I made a decision to sacrifice one of my avatars. The one that was killed that day was one of my avatars." "So was your avatars?" After hearing Mo Qingyun's explanation, Gu Yang's face lit up. He had a rough idea of what had happened and said, "That avatar of yours is extraordinary. It could even deceive a Saint Realm expert. This is probably beyond everyone's expectations." Gu Yang sighed inwardly and didn't continue to ask how Mo Qingyun managed to hide his true body. In Gu Yang's view, this was Mo Qingyun's secret, and it wasn't appropriate for him to ask too much. After briefly explaining the reason for his survival to Gu Yang, Mo Qingyun changed the topic. "Martial uncle, what happened after my avatar was killed?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, a faint smile appeared on Gu Yang's face. "After your avatar was killed, the powerhouses of the Alchemist Temple rushed over and clashed with the powerhouses of the Dark Demon race. When the Dark Demon race's Saint Ancestor ZK saw that you were killed, he was worried that the powerhouses of other forces would come to help. so he retreated with the powerhouses of the dark demon race. So it was like that. Mo Qingyun nodded in understanding, but immediately felt a little puzzled. He asked, since the dark devil race has retreated, why was the Pill Master Temple empty when we left? Guyang wasn't surprised by Mo Qingyun's words and calmly explained to Mo Qingyun. The dark demon race came with great momentum this time. The strength they displayed was not something the Alchemist Temple could contend against. Presumably, the Alchemist Temple moved to the Saint Tower and borrowed the power of the Saint Tower to guard against the dark demon race's next attack. Saint Tower? Mo Qingyun frowned slightly. A curious look appeared on his face as he asked, Martial Uncle, before participating in the Alchemy Master Trial, I told you that if you get into the top 10 of the Alchemy Master Trial, you will have a chance to enter the Sacred Tower to cultivate. What is this Sacred Tower? The Saint Tower is the origin of the Alchemist Temple and the ancestral land of the immortal desolate domain's alchemists. Many Saint-stage alchemists are gathered there. When Guyang heard Mo Qingyun's question about the Saint Tower, a look of reverence appeared on his face. Most Saint-stage immortal alchemists or Saint-stage alchemists like Senior Pill Devil would seal some of their alchemy insights in the Saint Tower's Pill Enlightenment Hall for the younger generation to comprehend. After listening to Gu Yang's explanation, Mo Qingyun understood the gist of the situation. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had understood, Gu Yang revealed a curious expression and asked Mo Qingyun, Qingyun, after leaving the Alchemist Temple, did you go to Senior Pill Devil's place? He blamed himself a lot for your death. Not yet. In response to Gu Yang's question, Mo Qingyun shook his head, a trace of shame appearing on his face. I still have some matters to take care of. Once I'm done with them, I'll go visit Master. All right. Hearing Mo Qingyun's thoughts, Gu Yang nodded and didn't try to change his mind. This is, as Mo Qingyun and Gu Yang were talking, Mo Qingyun suddenly felt a surge of saint force from Gu Yang's body. This is the fluctuation of a saint source brand. Because of the saint source brand that Tung Chai left on him, Mo Qingyun was very sensitive to the aura of the saint source brand. Mo Qingyun was shocked when he saw the saint source brand on Gu Yang's body. He looked at Gu Yang with a tense expression. Gu Yang had been placed with a saint source brand, so it was possible that someone had been monitoring him. Seeing the change in Mo Qingyun's expression, Gu Yang also tensed up and asked, Qingyun, what's wrong? I just felt a surge of saint force from your body. It's the aura of a saint source brand. Hearing Gu Yang's words, Mo Qingyun didn't try to hide anything from him. If I'm not mistaken, there should be someone monitoring you, and the news that I'm still alive should have already been made known to others. P.S. Have a meal and rest. We'll continue later. Chapter 1942. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Gu Yang was shocked and froze on the spot. He did not expect that someone would leave a saintly source brand on him. More importantly, the person who left the saintly source brand on him might have known that Mo Qingyun was not dead. This was bad news for him and Mo Qingyun. Who was it that left this saint power brand on my body? Could it be Senior Pill Devil? Gu Yang had a puzzled look on his face as he tried to guess who had left the saint source brand behind. However, Gu Yang quickly dismissed the possibility of it being a Pill Devil. If it was Pill Devil, he could have left the saintly source brand on him openly. There was no need for him to do it secretly. Therefore, the person who left the saintly source brand on him did not want him to know. After eliminating the possibility of it being the Pill Devil, Gu Yang's eyes widened as he thought of a very suspicious person. Could it be the City Lord? It must be the City Lord who left behind the Saint Source brand. He must be afraid that I would hold a grudge against him because of you. So he left behind a Saint Source brand to guard against me. Hearing Gu Yang's guess, Mo Qingyun immediately nodded in agreement. He felt that it was a reasonable guess. Other than Luo Batian, there was no need for anyone else to do this, nor would they have the chance to do it quietly. Realizing this, Mo Qingyun and Gu Yang's expressions immediately turned serious. In this way, the news that Mo Qingyun was not dead would naturally be known by Robatian. Robatian, This old man is really cunning. After confirming that it was Roba Tian's doing, Mo Qingyun's expression turned serious as he became even more wary of Roba Tian. Roba Tian's sneak attack had caught him off guard and disrupted his original plan. Immediately, Mo Qingyun began to think about how to deal with this sudden change. In a secret room in the city lord's mansion, a white-haired old man and a young man were both shocked as they stared at the Saint energy image in front of them. The old man and the young man were none other than Roba Tian and Luo Yan. Mo Qingyun actually didn't die. How is this possible? After learning that Mo Qingyun was still alive, Roba Tian's face was filled with shock, and he didn't recover for a long time. For him, this news came too suddenly, and he found it hard to believe. At that time, he had personally witnessed Mo Qingyun's body being blasted apart by the Dark Demon Clan Saint. Looks like I've underestimated Mo Qingyun. This brat is indeed not simple. Thinking back to that day, Roba Heaven was even more shocked and felt even more admiration for Mo Qingyun. That day in the Alchemist Temple, there were more than 10 Saint Realm powerhouses, but not a single one of them noticed that Mo Qingyun had escaped. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he really wouldn't have dared to believe that Mo Qingyun was still alive. At this moment, in Roba Tian's heart, his evaluation of Mo Qingyun immediately rose to a new level. That's not necessarily true. I feel like his death is near. Hearing Roba Tian's words, Luo Yin curled his lips indifferently, and a cold smile appeared on his face. Father, now everyone thinks that Mo Qingyun is dead. If you kill Mo Qingyun now, no one will suspect you because he's already dead. Hearing Luo Yan's words, Roba Tian immediately understood what his father was thinking, and a trace of greed flashed through his eyes. Mo Qingyun had countless treasures on him. If he killed Mo Qingyun, his gains would be immeasurable, not to mention the myriad medicinal crystal cauldron on Mo Qingyun's body. Just the saint blood alone was priceless. More importantly, if he wanted to refine the 9-day Nirvana creation pill, he needed to collect all 9 saint blood. If he could obtain Mo Qingyun's saint blood, he would be able to save a lot of trouble and gather the materials for the pill faster. Although Roba Tian was somewhat tempted, he still maintained his rationality and showed some concern on his face. He said, Mo Qingyun is the pill demon's most valued disciple. The pill demon must have already known that he's still alive. If we act against him, the pill demon will definitely take revenge. Seeing Luo Baishan's reaction, a cold smile appeared on Luo Yan's face. He said, Father, you're overthinking this. Do you think that after Mo Qingyun went through that kind of life and death situation, if the pill devil knew that he was still alive, he would feel at ease letting him act alone? Yen'er, it seems that you've really grown up. Your analysis is very reasonable. Luo Baishan's misgivings vanished immediately when he heard Luo Yan's words. He sneered. Without the pill demon's misgivings, the treasures Mo Qingyun possesses are indeed worth the risk. Father, since you've already made your decision, let's act immediately. Seeing that Roba Tian had decided to kill Mo Qingyun, Luo Yin couldn't wait and immediately urged Roba Tian. In order to prevent that brat from leaving Cloud Sky City to meet the pill demon after meeting Guyang, we must act immediately. Okay, let's go. Hearing Luo Yan's words, Roba Tian didn't delay and immediately went to Gu Yang's residence with Luo Yan. Soon, the two left the secret room and went to Gu Yang's residence to capture Mo Qingyun. Coincidentally, just as Roba Tian and Luo Yan left the secret room, they met Gong Pingyang, who was passing by. Seeing Roba Tian and Luo Yan's hurried expressions, Gong Pingyang frowned slightly and a curious expression appeared on his face. He thought to himself, this father and son pair are in a hurry. They must be hiding some secrets. This old man can go and test them out. With this thought in mind, Gong Pingyang stepped forward and quickly arrived in front of Luo Batian and Luo Yan. City Lord, Brother Luo Yan, I see that the both of you are in a hurry. Could it be that you have encountered a problem that requires my assistance? Haha, there's no need. Brother Mu, please do as you wish. Luo Yin immediately smiled faintly and changed the topic. Brother Mu, if there's anything you need, please don't hesitate. There's no need to be too courteous with us. Thank you for your kind intentions, Brother Luo Yin. Hearing Luo Yan's words, Gong Pingyang immediately cupped his hands in thanks and said, in that case, I won't disturb the two of you any longer. After Luo Yin sent Gong Pingyang away, he and Robotion didn't waste any more time and hurriedly rushed to Gu Yang's residence. They were all worried that if they were too late, it would be a pity if Mo Qingyun managed to escape. Humph! Trying to deceive this old man with such a low-level excuse, how laughable. As he watched Luo Yin and Luo Yin gradually disappear into the distance, Gong Pingyang smiled disdainfully. The curiosity in his eyes deepened as he said, this old man wants to see what kind of tricks you two are playing. As Gong Pingyang's words fell, his figure moved, and he followed Robotion and Luo Yin. Chapter 1943. Not long after, Gong Pingyang followed Roba and Tian to Gu Yang's residence. In order to avoid being discovered by Roba and Tian, Gong Pingyang didn't enter the courtyard and quietly hid not far away. This father and son pair are sneaking around Gu Yang's residence. What kind of secret are they hiding? Looking at Roba and Tian entering the courtyard, Gong Pingyang's curiosity grew. He quietly released his soul force to observe. Now that his cultivation had returned to the Saint Realm, although his cultivation wasn't as stable as Robotion's, his soul force far surpassed Robotion's. Therefore, he wasn't worried about being discovered by Robotion when he released his soul force. Under Gong Pingyang's observation, Roba and Tian arrived in front of the secret room and said, Exalted Guyang, this old man has come to discuss something with you. Please come out. As soon as Luo Baishan's words were heard by Mo Qingyun and Luo Batian, they were stunned. Robotion actually came so quickly, he couldn't wait a moment longer. The city lord is here. Hearing Robotion's sudden arrival, Gu Yang's eyes widened, and he said in shock, Qingyun, what do we do now? Do I have to go out and see the city lord? From the looks of it, your previous deduction should not be too far from the truth. Hearing Robotion's arrival, Mo Qingyun's last bit of hope disappeared. He smiled faintly and said, Robotion and Tian must have come because I'm still alive. They will definitely find a way to make me appear. I'll go with you to see them. You want to see the two of them? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Gu Yang's eyes widened. He was stunned by Mo Qingyun's decision. Seeing Gu Yang's shocked expression, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and nodded to Gu Yang. Since we can't avoid them, we might as well face them directly. At least we can take the initiative and open the isolation formation. All right. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had made up his mind, Gu Yang did not say anything else and followed Mo Qingyun's instructions. In his opinion, with Mo Qingyun's identity as Pill Devil's disciple, Robotion should not dare to act rashly. Besides, if Mo Qingyun could escape from the Dark Demon Saint, then even Roba Heaven wouldn't be able to do anything to him. It didn't take long for him to open the formation in Gu Yang's secret chamber. Then, Robotion and Luo Yin appeared in front of Mo Qingyun. Mr. Mo, Mr. Mo. When Robotion saw Mo Qingyun appear, he was immediately shocked and didn't know what to say. Although he knew that Mo Qingyun was still alive, he really didn't expect that Mo Qingyun would come out directly to see him. Originally, he had thought that Mo Qingyun would go into hiding and slowly come out to meet him under the threat of Gu Yang. Now that Mo Qingyun had appeared directly, he was truly shocked and disrupted his plans. City Lord, didn't the two of you come here to see me? You don't have to be so surprised. Looking at the surprised Luo Batian, Mo Qingyun had a look of disdain on his face as he spoke in a slightly mocking tone. Mr. Mo, you're so humorous. Seeing that their intentions have been exposed, Luo Batian chuckled awkwardly. His expression gradually turned cold as he said, To be honest, I should be thanking you for taking first place in the Pill Master Trials for my Cloud Heaven City. However, you took what I wanted, so I can only apologize. City Lord, you..." When he heard Robotion's words, Gu Yang's face was filled with anger, and he pointed at the two of them, unable to say anything. When Robotion spoke, he felt a strong, killing intent from Robotion. From this, it could be seen that Luo Batian and his companion were here to kill and rob. He knew that Robotion and Gu Yang didn't come with good intentions, but he didn't expect that Robotion and Gu Yang would be so ruthless. In response to Gu Yang's shock and anger, Luo Yin smiled proudly and said, "Consecrator Gu Yang, I really have to thank you this time. If it weren't for you, Mo Qingyun wouldn't have come to Cloud Sky City, and we wouldn't have known that he was still alive, let alone have the treasure on him." When he heard Luo Yan's words, Gu Yang immediately blamed himself. He felt that he had harmed Mo Qingyun. Looking at Gu Yang's expression, Mo Qingyun shook his head and said, "Martial uncle, you don't have to blame yourself. This has nothing to do with you. I had to come to Cloud Sky City." Mo Qingyun didn't lie to Gu Yang. If he wanted to get the Nirvana Elixir's pill formula, he had to come to Cloud Sky City. However, when these words fell into Gu Yang's ears, it had a completely different meaning. In Gu Yang's eyes, Mo Qingyun said this to him because he didn't want him to feel guilty. With this thought in mind, Gu Yang widened his eyes and glared at Robotion and Luo Yin. He shouted, "Robotion, don't forget that Qingyun is Senior Pill Devil's most valued disciple. If you dare to touch him, wait for Senior Pill Devil's revenge." Hearing Gu Yang's words, Luo Yin smiled and said, "Consecrator Gu Yang, don't use Senior Pill Devil to scare us. In Senior Pill Devil's mind, Mr. Mo has already died in the hands of the Dark Demon Clan. What we need to deal with now is just a dead man." After hearing Luo Yan's words, Robotion smiled and said, "Mr. Mo, this old man doesn't want to kill you. Don't say that this old man didn't give you a chance. If you take the initiative to hand over the treasure and let me plant a soul imprint in your knowledge, see, this old man can spare your life." This pair of ungrateful bastards who burned the bridge after crossing the river. Hearing Robotion and Luo Yan's words, Gu Yang was so angry that his body couldn't stop trembling. Gu Yang said angrily. Then he turned to Mo Qingyun and said, "Qingyun, don't believe their words. These despicable people can't be trusted. As long as you don't give them the treasure, they won't kill you. You're courting death." Hearing Gu Yang's words, Robotion's face darkened. He wanted to kill Gu Yang on the spot. What they did to Mo Qingyun couldn't be spread, so Gu Yang couldn't be allowed to live. "Stop!" Seeing Robotion's actions, Mo Qingyun immediately shouted at him and stopped Robotion. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Robotion sneered and stopped attacking Gu Yang. He smiled and said, "Mr. Mo, have you thought about it? If you accept my conditions, not only will I spare you and Consecrator Gu Yang, but I will also put you in an important position in the future." Accept your conditions? That's impossible. Chapter 1944. Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Robotion and Luo Yin shuddered as if they were struck by lightning. They were only guessing that Mo Qingyun might not have gone to see the Pill Devil, so they weren't completely sure. If their guess was wrong and they killed Mo Qingyun now, the consequences would be unimaginable. "Father, there's no turning back. We have no other way out." Seeing the hesitant Luo Batian, an anxious expression appeared on Luo Yan's face as he immediately tried to persuade Luo Batian. "Based on what we said just now, this kid will definitely hold a grudge against us. Right now, there is no room for reconciliation between us." Hearing Luo Yan's words, Robotion's face immediately became unsightly. He felt that Luo Yan's words made sense. Seeing Robotion's cold expression, Luo Yin decided to strike while the iron was hot. He persuaded Robotion again. "Father, we have no other way out. At worst, we could just give up on Cloud Sky City after killing this kid." Hearing Luo Yan's suggestion, Roba Tian immediately made a decision in his heart. Compared to the value of Mo Qingyun's treasures, even if he gave up on Cloud Sky City, he would still make a fortune. Mr. Mo, this old man has no other choice. I can only die with you. Roba Tian made his decision in his heart. He stretched out his palm towards Mo Qingyun, and a terrifying saint force erupted from his palm. Facing Roba Tian's palm, Mo Qingyun didn't dare to be careless and quickly retreated. But to Mo Qingyun's surprise, Roba Tian's body flickered and closed in on Gu Yang. With Gu Yang's cultivation at the 8th layer of the 9 Heavens Xian Immortal Realm, he had no chance of resisting Roba Tian's sudden attack. Gu Yang's neck was gripped by Luo Batian without any resistance. Martial Uncle, seeing that Gu Yang had been captured by Roba Tian, Mo Qingyun's expression changed to one of worry. He didn't expect that Roba Tian's attack on him was just a pretense. His real goal was to deal with Gu Yang. If he wasn't mistaken, Luo Batian had captured Gu Yang in order to blackmail him. Sure enough, Roba caught Gu Yang. He smiled proudly and said, Mr. Mo, I'll give you 10 breaths of time to consider. If you don't hand over the treasure to this old man, I'll have no choice but to let Gu Yang down. As soon as Roba Tian finished speaking, a powerful saint power erupted from his palm. Qingyun, don't worry about me. This old man is not someone who is afraid of death. Under Roba Tian's control, Gu Yang's face was filled with determination. He said coldly, use your trump card and leave immediately. Just remember to avenge this old man when you're successful in your cultivation. Bastard Roba Tian, this old man will fight you to the death. As soon as Gu Yang finished speaking, he prepared to self-detonate and take Luo Batian and Luo Batian down with him. Seeing Gu Yang's action, Roba Tian shook his arm and released a powerful saint power. Under the impact of Roba Tian's saint power, Gu Yang's self-destruction was immediately stopped. He even lost control of his body. After Luo Batian stopped Gu Yang's self-destruction, the sneer on his face deepened. Consecrator Gu Yang, seeing that we've known each other for so many years, this old man doesn't want you to die in an embarrassing manner. I hope you'll cooperate with me. Don't force this old man to be ruthless. Bah! As soon as he heard Roba Tian's words, Gu Yang's face was filled with disdain. He spat at him and said, the biggest mistake I've made in my life is to know you two dog father and son. You're just 2 dogs in human skin. You're courting death. Hearing Gu Yang's insults, Luo Yan's face darkened. He raised his hand and punched at Gu Yang. Under Luo Yan's punch, Gu Yang's face twitched. Blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. Looking at Gu Yang in Roba Tian's hand, Mo Qingyun's face was cold. He said to Roba Tian, let Martial Uncle go. Come at me. Let him go. Are you kidding me? Hearing Mo Qingyun's request, Roba Tian refused without hesitation. The smile on his face became even colder. He said, Mr. Mo, I'll tell you the truth. Today, none of you will be leaving. The only difference is whether you die a comfortable death or a painful one. Gotcha! As soon as Roba Tian finished speaking, he raised his left hand and crushed the bones in Gu Yang's left hand. Gu Yang screamed as the bones in his left hand were crushed. His face was as pale as paper, and cold sweat poured down his face. After crushing the bones in Gu Yang's left hand, Roba Tian didn't stop. He reached for Gu Yang's left arm. Roba Tian put his hand on Gu Yang's left arm. He smiled coldly and said, Mr. Mo, this old man's patience is limited. Consecrator Gu Yang's bones are also limited. Don't take too long. Seeing Roba Tian's actions, Mo Qingyun's face darkened. He looked at Roba Tian and Luo Yan coldly. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun and Gu Yang were confronting each other, Gong Pingyang witnessed everything from outside the courtyard. Mo Qingyun is still alive. Gong Pingyang was shocked to learn that Mo Qingyun was still alive. A sinister smile appeared on his face as he thought to himself. So Luo Batian and his son rushed here in a hurry to kill Mo Qingyun and take his treasures for themselves. At this moment, Gong Pingyang finally understood why Roba Tian and Luo Yan were in such a hurry. You father and son are eating meat, but you should leave some soup for me. Gong Pingyang noticed this and immediately had an idea. He decided to get a share of the soup. Judging from the current situation, Imo Qingyun won't be able to hold on for long. I can't wait any longer. Otherwise, I won't even get to drink the soup. Gong Pingyang said to himself. He didn't hesitate and immediately rushed towards Imo Qingyun. Imo Qingyun, I didn't think you'd still be alive. You surprised me. Gong Pingyang's figure flashed and appeared in front of Imo Qingyun. He raised his hand and grabbed at Imo Qingyun. He laughed loudly and said, You were lucky enough to escape me the last few times. Let's see where you can run to this time. Saint's might, why? You're not mood-junting. Sensing Gong Pingyang's saint's might, Robotion immediately shuddered. He saw through Gong Pingyang's true identity and yelled out, How dare you behave so atrociously in my cloud sky city? Get your ass over here and die. As soon as Luo Batian finished speaking, he struck out with his palm in an attempt to stop Gong Pingyang from attacking Imo Qingyun. Seeing Robotion try to stop him, Gong Pingyang reacted quickly. He immediately dodged to the left, easily dodging Robotion's palm. Not only that, but Gong Pingyang also came to Luo Yan's side in a flash. He raised his hand and captured Luo Yan. He smiled and said, City Lord Luo, your son is now in my hands. I hope you can stay calm. Seeing this scene, Imo Qingyun couldn't help but be stunned for a moment before revealing a playful smile. Chapter 1945. Although Gong Pingyang's sudden appearance didn't have good intentions, it turned the situation around. All in all, Imo Qingyun still had to thank Gong Pingyang. It was Gong Pingyang who stopped him from being so passive. Sir, I've treated you with respect since you came to the city. Why do you want to go against me? Looking at Gong Pingyang, who had captured Luo Xian, Luo Baishan's expression darkened as he questioned Gong Pingyang. Gong Pingyang smiled faintly at Robotion's question. City Lord, as the saying goes, everyone has a share. This kid has countless treasures on him. Since you two are eating the meat, shouldn't you leave some soup for him? After hearing Gong Pingyang's words, Luo Batian immediately knew what he was thinking. His face gradually darkened. Sir, you have a good plan. Don't forget that you are now in the Cloud Sky City. As long as I give the order, you will immediately be attacked. As soon as Luo Batian finished his words, he unleashed an aura that crushed down on Gong Pingyang. Faced with Luo Baishan's oppressive aura, Gong Pingyang looked indifferent and said, Governor, let's not talk about whether you dare to do so. Even if you do you have the confidence to keep me here? As soon as Gong Pingyang finished speaking, he put on an indifferent expression and raised Luo Yan. He was reminding Robotion that if Robotion dared to attack, Luo Xian's life would be in danger. Seeing Gong Pingyang's action, Robotion was furious. He clenched his teeth and swallowed his anger. Speak. What do you want from this kid? If it's not too much, I can agree to your request. City Lord, this is the right choice. This way, it's a win-win situation. Seeing Luo Batian take a step back, Gong Pingyang smiled proudly. He turned to Imo Qingyun and said, My request is simple. You just have to give me this brat's corpse. I don't want anything else from him. You want Imo Qingyun's body? Luo Baishan's expression flickered as a look of surprise appeared on his face. Then, he sneered, Sir, you're playing with fire. Impersonating Imo Qingyun's identity may bring you great benefits, but you also have to bear great risks. You should consider this carefully. This is my business. Sir City Lord, you don't have to worry about it. Gong Pingyang didn't care about Robotion's words at all. He calmly replied, Besides, if I say that I want the all-melting drug crystal furnace and the Qilin Saint blood, you probably won't agree, right? Haha, that is indeed the case. Your Excellency is a sensible person. Robotion laughed and didn't hide his thoughts. If that's the case, then it's decided. Once I force out Imo Qingyun's treasure, I'll hand him over to you. All right, it's a deal. Gong Pingyang's face lit up when he saw that he had achieved his goal. His mood instantly became better. Imo Qingyun's expression shook when he saw this situation. A bad feeling arose in his heart. He said, "Oh no, I didn't think that these two old dogs wouldn't bite each other. Instead, they reached some kind of agreement. This is going to be troublesome." Mo Qingyun's brows furrowed. He quickly thought of a way to resolve this situation. If that's the case, perhaps I can turn the situation around. Mo Qingyun pondered for a while. He came up with a plan and immediately put into action. "All of you come out." As Mo Qingyun's words fell, he waved his hand and summoned all the ghosts. As soon as these ghosts were summoned, they appeared beside Gong Pingyang and attacked Luo Yin in a frenzy. Gong Pingyang and Luo Batian had reached an agreement because they had Luo Yin as their trump card. If Luo Yin died, he wouldn't have the right to negotiate with Robotion. Moreover, he would also infuriate Robotion. If he didn't make a move, Luo Yin wouldn't have been killed by Mo Qingyun's sneak attack. Ghosts. Looking at the sudden appearance of a large group of ghosts, Robotion and Gong Pingyang were shocked. Their minds went blank for a moment. While Robotion and Gong Pingyang were in a daze, Mo Qingyun seized the opportunity and immediately launched a sneak attack on Luo Yin. Imperial Seal, Killer Spirit Eye. Mo Qingyun's left eye flashed with gray light. A powerful soul power blasted out and quickly condensed into an imprint. Then, this imposing soul imprint blasted into Luo Yan's sea of consciousness. Puff! After being hit by Mo Qingyun's soul attack, Luo Yin immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. His consciousness became sluggish. While Luo Yan's consciousness was sluggish, a nine-heaven Xian immortal realm ghost smashed its palm on his head. Bang! After being hit by the nine-heaven Xian immortal realm ghost, Luo Yan's head exploded. Even his soul couldn't escape. He wasn't Mo Qingyun, whose physical strength was as terrifying as a saint artifact. Yener, seeing Luo Yin killed in an instant, Robotion's eyes immediately turned red. His expression became crazy. This huge change was too sudden for him, and it was too much of a shock for him. Originally, they came to force Mo Qingyun to hand over the treasure. In the end, they didn't even get the treasure, and Luo Yin was killed. This huge difference made Robotion so angry that he wanted to go crazy. His reason was also quickly fading. Soon, Robotion's reason was replaced by anger. He looked at Mo Qingyun with a dark gaze and said angrily, "Mo Qingyun, you dare to kill my yin? I'll tear you to pieces." As soon as Robotion finished speaking, he rushed towards Mo Qingyun. He wanted to kill Mo Qingyun on the spot. Shadow Dragon Transformation. Seeing Robotion rushing towards him, Mo Qingyun didn't dare to be careless. He immediately used the Shadow Dragon Transformation to escape. Mo Qingyun's figure flashed. He transformed into the Shadow Dragon state and quickly pulled away from Robotion. My speed seems to be faster than when I was a perfected Golden Immortal. After transforming into the Shadow Dragon state, Mo Qingyun found that his speed was actually faster than Robotion's. This discovery made Mo Qingyun pleasantly surprised. He became a little excited. In this way, he would have more confidence when facing Saint Stage experts in the future. No matter what, even if he couldn't defeat his opponent, he could still escape. After pulling away from Robotion, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and said, "City Lord, the person who killed Luo Yin was not me, Mo Qingyun. It was Gong Pingyang. If he hadn't suddenly intervened, I wouldn't have had the chance to kill Luo Yin." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he looked at Robotion with a look that said, "Do as you wish." Chapter 1946. "Men, capture the two of them." Robotion roared. His voice resounded throughout the entire Cloud Sky City, reaching every corner of the city. Hearing Robotion's summons, the guards and reverends in the city immediately rushed over. In the blink of an eye, the sky above Gu Yang's residence was filled with people. "Commander, how do you? Keep an eye on Reverend Gu Yang. Don't let him escape." Seeing the guards coming out of the city, Luo Batian gave some instructions to each of them before handing Gu Yang over to them. After handing Gu Yang over to Hao Diu, Robotion turned to another person and ordered, "Reverend Sable, capture that brat for me. Even if you have to kill him, don't let him escape." Robotion didn't care about anything else now. The only thing on his mind right now was to kill Mo Qingyun and avenge Luo Yin. "Yes, City Lord." Hearing Robotion's order, Sable immediately flew over to Mo Qingyun. Seeing that everything was settled, Robotion didn't hesitate any longer and immediately flew over to Gong Pingyang. Not only did Gong Pingyang's appearance cause his plan to fail, but it also caused Luo Yin to be killed by Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun wasn't lying. Luo Yin's death was caused by Gong Pingyang. At this moment, Robotion's hatred for Gong Pingyang was even greater than Mo Qingyun's. Robotion's figure flashed as he joined the battle to deal with Gong Pingyang with the other two true saints. Gong Pingyang's cultivation had just returned to the true saint realm, so it was still a little difficult for him to fight against three true saints at once. Martial Uncle isn't in Robotion's hands anymore. He's only being held by a nine heavens profound immortal realm cultivator. Maybe I can save him. Seeing that Gu Yang was being held captive by Hao Diu, Mo Qingyun's eyes lit up as he thought of a way to save Gu Yang. Seeing that Mo Qingyun still dared to think of other things under her pursuit, Sable's face immediately darkened. She angrily said, "Brat, how dare you be distracted by this old man? You're courting death." Raging heavenly waves. Sable waved her right hand and slapped towards Mo Qingyun with boundless saint energy. The Saint Sable's eyes Saint Chi like a violent storm Sable's path. "I have an idea." Sable's Tian's eyes lit Sable's Sable is of Sable's Sable. While Mo Qingyun was pondering, he did not dare to be careless and sped up. Then he dodged Sable's palm and said with a mocking expression, "Old man, I really couldn't tell that you were a Saint Realm expert. Your attacking methods and speed are even comparable to some Tai-Xian immortals. If you continue to chase me for a few more rounds, you won't tire yourself out, will you?" How infuriating. Arrogant little fool, you forced this old man's hand. Hearing Mo Qingyun's mocking words, Sable was immediately enraged and roared at Mo Qingyun. "Starry water." Sable waved her arms, and a monstrous amount of Saint Chi erupted from her body, instantly covering heaven and earth. Then, the boundless Saint Chi that blotted out the sky fell towards Mo Qingyun like a landslide. Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun was immediately overjoyed. This was the effect he wanted. Immediately, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and flew towards Hao Diu. Boom, boom. As Mo Qingyun flew away in a flash, the saint energy in the sky crashed down on him like the collapse of heaven and earth. Quick, retreat. This kid wants to drag us down with him. Damn kid, he's too shameless, too despicable. Consecrated Sable's attack is too fast. We can't escape. I don't want to die yet. I won't accept this. Seeing Mo Qingyun getting closer and closer, Hao Diu and the others panicked and uttered words of fear. Although they were afraid, tragedy could not be avoided. Soon, they were swallowed by the Saint Chi. Imperial Seal, killing Spirit Eye. When Sable's attack affected everyone, Mo Qingyun's left eye flashed with a gray light and launched a soul attack at Hao Diu. Hao Diu was focused on defending against Sable's attack. He did not expect Mo Qingyun to suddenly attack him. Caught off guard, Hao Diu was hit by Mo Qingyun's soul attack. Facing Mo Qingyun's soul attack, Hao Diu's face paled and his mind went blank for a moment. Bang! While Hao Diu was in a daze, a terrifying Saint Chi broke through his defense and slammed into his body, sending him flying. As Hao Diu's body flew backwards, he unconsciously loosened his grip on Gu Yang's right hand. Pooh! As Hao Diu loosened his grip, Yang lost his protection and was hit by the Saint Chi. Then, Yang and How Do You were sent flying toward the ground. Return. Seeing that Yang was not captured by How Do You, Mo Qingyun connected to the Fortune mainland and sent Yang to the Fortune mainland. After sending Yang away, Mo Qingyun's figure flickered and disappeared into the distance. He laughed and said, "Everyone, I still have to treat Martial Uncle's injuries, so I won't be playing with you anymore." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Robotion and the others were shocked. They realized that Mo Qingyun's figure had already disappeared. Yang, seeing that Mo Qingyun had disappeared, Robotion's expression changed, and he turned to look at How Do You. When he saw How Do You lying on the ground, his face darkened and his body trembled in anger. He had been played by Mo Qingyun again. "Damn, brat, if this old man sees you again, I will skin you alive and pull out your tendons." Thinking about the 2 times he had fought with Mo Qingyun and how he had been defeated each time, Robotion's heart was filled with resentment and unwillingness. As a true Saint Realm expert, he had been played by a Grand Unity profound immortal multiple times. It was a great humiliation. It's all because of you. You caused me to lose everything. I'll make you suffer a fate worse than death. Since Mo Qingyun had already escaped, Robotion had no place to vent his anger. He could only vent it all on Gong Pingyang. Seeing this scene, Gong Pingyang couldn't help but feel depressed. He wanted to cry, but he couldn't. Originally, he had only wanted to get some soup, but now he had become a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. This huge difference made him feel as if there was a stone stuck in his chest. He was extremely depressed. More importantly, with his current strength, he wasn't a match for 4 true Saint Realm experts. At this moment, he couldn't help but feel as if he was blocking a blade for Mo Qingyun. Before long, under Robotion and the others' frenzied attacks, Gong Pingyang was helplessly captured. Chapter 1947. Coming out from a sky cloud city, Mo Qingyun did not run too far, hiding on a deserted mountaintop. Mo Qingyun arrived at a deserted mountain peak. Without any hesitation, he entered the Fortune mainland in a flicker. Mo Qingyun arrived at Yang's side the moment he entered the Fortune mainland and saw Yang recuperating from his injuries. Sensing Mo Qingyun's approach, Yang's expression changed, and he immediately withdrew from his cultivation. "Qingyun, where is this place? How did I suddenly appear here?" Looking at Mo Qingyun, Yang's curiosity was piqued, and he immediately asked Mo Qingyun, "Martial Uncle, your injuries are not light. Sit down and listen to me." Since he had brought Yang to the Fortune mainland, Mo Qingyun did not want to hide anything from him and began to tell him about the Fortune mainland. Hearing Mo Qingyun's story, Yang's eyes widened in shock, and his face was filled with disbelief. "Qingyun, no wonder Senior Pill Devil said that your luck is heaven-defying. It seems like it's true." After listening to Mo Qingyun's story, Yang couldn't help sighing, and admiration for Mo Qingyun rose in his heart. Who would have thought that you would inadvertently merge with a mainland space channel and can freely travel through it? Mo Qingyun did not tell Yang that the Fortune mainland was formed from his cultivation, only that he had entered it by coincidence. In Yang's opinion, Mo Qingyun was able to enter the Fortune mainland because he had merged with a space channel. "Martial Uncle, you can rest here and recuperate first. Leave the matter of dealing with Robotion and the others to me." After talking with Yang for a while, Mo Qingyun comforted him, hinting that Yang did not need to worry about anything. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yang immediately became worried, and he hurriedly persuaded Mo Qingyun, "Qingyun, Robotion is too strong. You must not be reckless. In my opinion, it's better to tell Senior Pill Devil about this matter and ask him to help. Martial Uncle, the path of cultivation is long, and there are countless difficulties along the way. I can't always go to Master whenever I encounter a problem." Mo Qingyun smiled casually and told Yang his thoughts, insisting that he would handle this matter himself. After listening to Mo Qingyun's words, Guyang no longer tried to persuade Mo Qingyun, as he felt that what Mo Qingyun was right. If he had to rely on the pill devil for everything, Mo Qingyun would become dependent on him, which would limit his future growth. Mo Qingyun and Huang Xiaolong chatted for a while before Mo Qingyun left the Fortune mainland. Master, my cultivation has broken through to the 9th level of the 9 heavens' mysterious immortal realm. When Mo Qingyun left the Fortune mainland, the 7-headed green Jiao dragon's excited voice suddenly appeared in his mind. Hearing the 7-headed green Jiao dragon's words, Mo Qingyun's face lit up and a thought-provoking smile appeared on his face. Now that the 7-headed green Jiao dragon had broken through to the 9th level of the 9 heavens' mysterious immortal realm, he would have more confidence when facing Robotion and the others. Mo Qingyun's confidence increased, and he did not delay any longer, rushing towards the Sky Cloud City. While Mo Qingyun was heading towards the Sky Cloud City, an old man and a skinny young man arrived outside the city. If Mo Qingyun was here, he would definitely recognize this old man. He was the Grand Elder of the Alchemist Temple, Ud Hai. That wretched Mu Junting. How dare he play tricks on me? I must not let him go. Standing in front of the Sky Cloud City city gates, the young man's face was gloomy, and he said angrily, that Brado Qingyun is lucky to have died in the hands of the Dark Devil race. Otherwise, I would have chopped him into 8 pieces and tortured him until he wished he was dead. Young after this incident, you have to be more careful when you interact with people in the future. Looking at the angry young man beside him, Udihai warned him and said, Mo Qingyun is a living example. If he did not act too high profile, how could he have been targeted by the Dark Devil race and attracted the Dark Devil race's experts to deal with him? Yes, I know. Hearing Udihai's words, Yu Yang revealed a humble expression and immediately nodded at Udihai. What Udihai said was true. If Mo Qingyun had not been too arrogant, he would not have ended up like this. Yu Yang was silent for a moment and revealed a somewhat worried expression and asked, Grandfather, if Roba Heaven intends to shield Mu Junting, what should we do next? There are many Saint Realm powerhouses in the Sky Cloud City. I'm afraid we can't use force. Don't worry, with Roba Heaven's selfish nature, he won't do that. Udihai had a confident expression, as if he had seen through Roba Heaven. He was not worried about Yu Yang's worries at all. Seeing Yu Yang still frowning, Udihai revealed a sinister smile and said, even if Roba Heaven shields Mu Junting, you don't have to worry at all. As long as Mu Junting dares to come out of the City Lord's mansion, I can directly kill him in the Sky Cloud City before Roba Heaven notices. Hearing Udihai's words, Yu Yang's expression turned for the better. Next, the two of them rushed towards the City Lord's mansion under the guidance of the guards. It didn't take long for Mo Qingyun to arrive at the outskirts of Cloud Sky City. Not far from the Sky Cloud City, Mo Qingyun used the hidden door and quietly rushed towards the City Lord mansion. His purpose this time was very simple. It was for the Nirvana Elixir of Creation's pill formula. There was no need to waste time. Chapter 1948. Gradually, everyone's gazes on Udihai and Luo Yunyang became unfriendly. Of all the people Udihai and Luo Yunyang could have chosen, they had chosen Mu Junting. They were really asking for trouble. Mu Junting had been the cause of Luo Xian's death. The reason Robotion hadn't killed him was because he wanted to torture him to vent his anger. Udihai frowned slightly when he sensed that the atmosphere in the hall wasn't right. He thought that Robotion and the others wanted to protect Mu Junting. City Lord Luo, as long as you are willing to hand over Mu Junting, I can give you some compensation. Name a price. Udihai couldn't keep his cool when he saw that Robotion hadn't said anything for a long time. Thus, he started to negotiate terms with Robotion. The expressions of Robotion and the others turned even uglier when they heard Udihai's words. It seemed like they were going to attack Udihai and Luo Yunyang at the slightest disagreement. Grandmaster Yu, What I want isn't something you can afford. Roba Tion suppressed the anger in his heart and said unhappily. He stood up from his chair and said, Consecrator Shweezy, send the guests off. Send Grandmaster Yu and the others out of the city. As soon as Luo Batian finished speaking, he ignored Yu Dihai and the other man and directly walked out of the meeting hall. Grandmaster Yu, please. Upon hearing Roba Tion's instructions, Consecrator Shweezy extended her hand and gestured for them to leave. She knew that Roba Tion wanted Yu Dihai and Luo Yunyang to leave because he was afraid that Yu Dihai would cause trouble in the city. Let's go. Yu Dihai's face darkened when he saw Roba Tion's actions, and a sullen feeling rose in his heart. In his opinion, Roba Tion had gone too far. This was clearly a form of humiliation for him. It was one thing if he wasn't willing to hand over Mu Junting, but he had actually ordered people to chase them out of the city. That old man Yu Dihai sure has some tricks up his sleeve. He actually managed to save Yu Yang. After listening to everyone's conversation, Mo Qingyun learned of the young man's identity. Surprise rose in his heart as he muttered to himself, If I'm not wrong, Yu Dihai and the other person are looking for Mu Junting to vent for Yu Yang. After all, in their impression, I've already been killed by the Dark Devil race. If they want to vent their anger, they can only look for Mu Junting. Forget it, let's not bother about them. Let's look for the 9 Heavens Nirvana Creation Pills formula first. Mo Qingyun pondered for a moment. Then he quietly left and began to search the city lord's mansion. The city hasn't been very peaceful recently. All of you be careful in case someone comes to break into the prison. Lord Commander, even the Saint Realm expert who caused trouble last time was captured by the city lord and Lord Consecrator. Who would dare to cause trouble again? I told you to be more vigilant. Throwing the teacup away, Roba Tion stood up from the stone bench and ordered the guards beside him, immediately search every corner of the city. Don't let even a fly escape. Also, immediately leave the city and chase after Yu Dihai. Whether he is the culprit or not, capture him for me. Hearing Roba Tion's order, no one dared to hesitate and immediately went to carry out Roba Tion's order. While Roba Tion and the others were busy searching for Gong Pingyang, Mo Qingyun quietly arrived at the mountainside outside the Cloud Sky City. Mo Qingyun found a secluded place and entered the Fortune mainland in a flicker. Swoosh! Mo Qingyun's figure flickered and appeared beside Gong Pingyang, looking at him with a faint smile on his face. Although he did not obtain the 9 Heavens Nirvana Creation Pills pill formula, subduing a true Saint Realm expert was also a great harvest. Where is this? Seeing Mo Qingyun appear in front of him, Gong Pingyang's curiosity was piqued, and he asked Mo Qingyun. Hearing Gong Pingyang's question, Mo Qingyun did not answer. He said indifferently, You don't need to ask where this place is. What you need to do now is to recover from your injuries as soon as possible. I have something important to instruct you. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he took out some pills and handed them to Gong Pingyang. He said, Here are some healing pills. Refine them and heal your injuries. You should be able to recover much faster. The medicinal pills that Mo Qingyun handed to Gong Pingyang were the ones he had obtained in the Blue Jade Medicine Crystal Palace's storeroom. Saint grade medicinal pills. Looking at the pill that Mo Qingyun handed over, Gong Pingyang's eyes instantly widened. He couldn't believe that this was real. He knew that Mo Qingyun had many treasures on him, but giving him saint-grade medicinal pills so casually was too extravagant. At this moment, he finally understood why Roba Tion was in such a hurry to make a move on Mo Qingyun. Gong Pingyang was a true Saint Realm expert after all, and his state of mind was very strong. He quickly calmed down. Then, without hesitation, Gong Pingyang consumed the medicinal pills to recover from his injuries. While Gong Pingyang was recovering from his injuries, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and appeared in front of Guyang. Qingyun, you're here. Sensing Mo Qingyun's approach, Gu Yang withdrew from his cultivation and happily communicated with Mo Qingyun. After a period of cultivation and recuperation, he had regained some feeling in his crippled hand. He believed that he would be able to recover after some time, and it wouldn't affect his daily life. Martial uncle, now that you've fallen out with Robotion, what do you plan to do next? After exchanging some pleasantries with Gu Yang, Mo Qingyun asked. He already had a plan in mind. Gu Yang was an 8-star immortal alchemist, and if he was willing to stay on the Fortune mainland, it wouldn't be a bad idea to guide Su Chao and Xiu Yi in refining pills. Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Gu Yang's eyes flashed with confusion, and he said, now that the alchemist temple has moved, I have nowhere else to go. If nothing unexpected happens, I should find a new force and continue to work as a consecrator. Hearing Gu Yang's plan, Mo Qingyun no longer hid his thoughts and went straight to the point. Martial uncle, if you don't mind, you can stay here. I have a few clansmen who want to learn alchemy. You can give them some guidance when you're free. Your clansmen are also here. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Gu Yang's curiosity was piqued, and he was tempted by Mo Qingyun's suggestion. If he could stay on a Fortune mainland, it wouldn't be a bad choice. He would have one less worry and trouble. Seeing Gu Yang's interest, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and led him to the Qingyun Valley. Before long, Mo Qingyun and Gu Yang arrived at the Qingyun Valley. As soon as Gu Yang entered the Qingyun Valley, a look of shock appeared on his face, and he felt as if he had arrived in another world. The cultivation of the people here was very low, and the highest was only in the Golden Immortal Realm. Some of them were only in the 2nd or 3rd stage of the martial path. As far as Gu Yang knew, the babies on the desolate mainland were born with higher cultivation than him. After a brief moment of shock, Gu Yang's curiosity grew even stronger.